Viewer discretion is advised.
Almost forgot to unmute there. Happy Thursday. You are listening and or watching Pwnecast. This is episode 196. Holy shit, are we in 196 already? Whoa. We are also in patch 7.3.5. Tonight, guys, I hate to tell you, but we're going to be going full on Super Saiyan with the games and gains Pied Piper himself, Mr. Bajheera. We have a discussion-packed evening, including a little bit of recruiter friend drama. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We got some BFA talk, Arena Cups hype, games and gains. Grab a drink, CC the children, or the pets, or the roommate. I mean, whatever. I'm not judging. Get comfy, and we'll be right back.
You have crossed into the world of the dead in search of answers.
Amongst the Azeroth elite, there's a group that defies convention, a group that stands in the face of trolls and doesn't flinch, a group that strives on unity, trust, and unwavering resolve, a group that eats tacos. For the players, by the players, we bring you. She can start a revolt with a Chaos Bolt. Belle, the Pwnecast Vanguard, with Mind Blast as strong as his ancient knowledge. Remedies, the Argent Lore Master. We bow to no one. We are Legion. We are Pwnecast.
So it's that moment where, like, one looks suspect and the other smiling, so I'm not sure if I should unmute them because I feel like there might be shenanigans happening, but I'm going to go ahead and unmute. Welcome back, guys.
We're behaving ourselves.
I mean,
sometimes.
I feel like behaving yourself's overrated, maybe.
As much as we could.
Right. I agree with that. Welcome back. For those of you who don't know, my name is Belle, and this is my wonderful co-host with the... I still haven't figured out something to say.
The Mo-host.
The Mo-host. Remedies. Today we are also joined, in case you don't have visuals, we are joined by Bajheera, who took a lot of time out of his games and games grind to come hang out with us and talk nerdy.
Something like that.
I need to get that.
Not that busy, you know, just playing video games.
I need to get that green screen action going on behind you. I feel like.
Well, and his table is green too. Shit.
Is it?
Yeah.
So you could be like streaming from like a mountaintop, or
when I do my gym streams, I'm really just sitting here.
That would actually be pretty.
It's all a ruse.
Gym streams, right?
Pwnecast broke it here, guys. He's been living a lie this whole time. All those muscles are just a body.
Keep that on the DL.
Right? Don't tell anybody, guys, because you know. So, guys, let's get some quick news out of the way. Obviously, since this show is on a Thursday, Tuesday, which is going to be the 30th, is going to be the reset day. So anything I'm about to tell you as far as the bonus and stuff like that is going to be for the 30th. This next reset's going to be the arena skirmishes, which is pretty cool. Go in there and get your thing. You also get extra honor while you're doing that. Might as well get that out of the way.
Nice.
If you need Destro, guys, I'm your man.
Really? Because I ask you for arenas all the time. And you're like, no, I don't like arenas.
Well.
I'm never taking you to commit any kind of crime because you just throw people right under the bus.
Or go to beanie.
No PvP brawl this week, which I think Deep Wind Dunk maybe was.
There's the Deep Wind Dunk for sure. Dr. Buckets was in there tearing it up.
Yeah, it's not really my favorite one of all of them. To be honest.
Yeah, it's actually a tough one because you can't just run around and kill people and still.
Oh, I can.
Which is all I ever do.
But that's what other people do as well. They just don't get the concept of strategy. So.
Because we were talking about this. We play Alliance, and it just breaks my heart. They're like, guys, hold the base, and I'm like, you don't know. Not like this.
I actually have to not look at chat because I do say mean things. I'm one of those people, but it's not my fault. I feel like they ask for it.
I just say it on stream, and they never know unless they watch.
They never know except the 40 million people that happen to be watching.
Idiot. And it's like they'll never know. So you can just verbally abuse them, and then it won't actually reach them. It's just cathartic.
Somebody will find out somewhere, and then you'll be the victim of a hate tweet, and then you'll have to issue a mass apology because that's what we do when we say things that are offensive because people are crybabies. Got it.
Hopefully I don't hurt anybody's feelings. It's just banter, you know?
Also, guys, I know as of right before the show, there's a lot of Battle for Azeroth stuff going on. We're not going to talk about that much. I want to get some secret info from Bajheera as far as like what he's looking forward to and all of that, but we're not going to go into that. Next week, we're going to have Perculia on. I figured that would be a really good time to kind of dive into some of that BFA stuff since they're the ones that are doing all that secret data mining, magical, spoiler,
Pickaxes
ruin your
and
life,
virtual
gaming
world. Yeah.
stuff. But they, on Tuesday the 30th at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, make sure you tune into World of Warcraft's Twitch channel. They are going to be doing a Q&A. Now, for those of you who don't know, you can tweet to them questions. I don't really know how they pick their questions, but my questions never get picked. I feel like there's a reason for that, but...
Well, they picked the most obvious answered ones, like...
Maybe
what's
I'm
this one?
asking too in-depth questions.
Short and simple.
Well, I don't know.
And they can't be too
Mean?
in-depth.
They can't be too mean?
Too mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably don't want to be too mean.
I feel like I want Blizzard to do a mean tweet where they have to read mean tweets from people that are pissed off at the devs.
That
what's
would be
his name
awesome.
does on his...
Yeah, just have like Ian or, you know, whoever's in charge of whatever, just have them read like a series of mean tweets.
I think Josh or Laura gets a pretty big kick out of some of those mean ones. You have like this little salter for him, right?
Yeah.
Like he offers up like a particularly salty tweet.
Oh, yes.
Salter, yeah.
I love salty tweets. They fuel my hate fire. With the Q&A, they did post a class design where they basically just gave an overall approach, like their approach going into BFA class design. This always scares me, so I'm not going to talk about it this episode. Anytime they mention, you know, this is our approach, it always means Belle disagrees. I don't want to talk about it. So we'll approach that on a later date when we have more information other than just a blanket statement. But last time they said that, they took a lot of things away that we needed. So
Yeah.
check it out. It was not really in-depth, but it's there for you guys. As you guys also probably know by now, BFA, the beta build was data mined, which means we're likely going to see an announcement on Tuesday of when they're going to have beta come out. So I don't think we're going to get the expansion release date on the 30th. Me and Ram were talking about that pre-show. I'm pretty sure we will probably see when they expect the beta to hit, which is exciting.
That's very exciting.
Yeah, it's
Just
pretty
the first
exciting.
step.
And they have collector's rewards, which we'll talk about that because it's not really important for this episode. Hot fixes, there's just a couple that I wanted to make sure I mentioned. The priority mail achievement and the postmaster title, those are now account-wide, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
Initially, I was like...
I know, when I first did it, I was like, what the...
Yeah.
I actually have no idea what either of those things are.
Because you are a dirty PvPer and don't PvE.
Mail? Like those mail achievements?
Yeah, you become the mailman.
Yeah, you get to
Like,
help the postmaster and you get to go into the...
Oh, I think I saw that. Is that where you like chucking mail?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You get a little pet and he has
Hey.
like a little envelope, which brings me great joy. I have no idea why. I just sit there and stare at him when I'm in Dalaran. I have no idea why.
That's an important job. I shouldn't be making fun of it.
Yeah, well, I mean...
I mean, you can make fun of it, but I embrace it.
I wasn't making fun of it. I was pleasantly surprised there's an achievement regarding the
Well,
mail.
now I'm going to challenge you when you have a rando stream to go and get your
Maybe I will.
postmaster title and your pet.
Because it's,
You have to
it's
learn
now
cities
count
and
bound.
zones.
Because it's now
Like,
count.
I
You
can get
couldn't
on
live
one
without it
character,
being a
have it on all
count
of
bound.
them.
For all of your 20 million alts that you play every
Rank
day.
1. Fuck that out the window. I can get postmaster on all
See?
my characters.
I just made your day and you had no idea how important that was.
We're just getting started too. This is great. Keep it going.
Also, I have even better news for you. Since you're going to be doing this achievement, the lost mail item, which, if you guys remember, originally it's by the one mailbox at the bottom of Violet Citadel. They've now made it where it spawns at random mailboxes. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what the spawn time is. I don't know if that made it any better, but now you can stock several at a time. Grab some buddies, get some drinks, eat some tacos, and
Yeah,
farm the
mail
lost
box.
mail.
Nice.
Or you could buy it from the auction house for 400K.
It's like
I'm talking
old
about.
days all over again, dancing on mailboxes and
People are
just waiting.
sadists. They put that in there for like 500K. Sadist. For mail. For you to buy the quest.
Lost mail at that.
Yeah, lost mail at that. All right, guys, let's get serious about this recruiter friend situation. Now, I'm kind of excited to talk about this because when we talked about it yesterday, Rem had a complete manic mental breakdown. You guys know I'm the one known for those mental breakdowns. He literally lost his shit.
I don't want to talk about it.
So, recruiter friends, yes, the rumors are true. The recruiter friend has received some changes, which sparked extremely passionate outcry from the players in the community. So the XP boost was changed from 200% to 50% for your recruiter friend like bonus. And the XP bonuses provided by the heirlooms will not stack with RAF bonuses. So how do you feel about that? Bajheera, are you going to burn things down right now?
No, I already have my warriors leveled. I mean, so there's two different things. I get it. Like, I get people want to be able to level fast, but there's like what I love about the WoW community is there's like a huge outcry. Like, leveling's too easy. You know, this is stupid. I just kill all the mobs. And it's like doesn't even feel like I'm doing anything. And then they make changes, and then like a whole other contingent are like, what? How am I supposed to level alts now? I can never level fast enough. And it's like,
on that part though, yeah, people were complaining, oh, it's too easy, and then it's not really just easy, it's just more streamlined, but you actually have to kill stuff now. And there's someone yelling in trade chat, oh, I can't even get a level in like a day of playing. I'm like, what? I got 2 the other day.
Is it because you're sitting in Stormwind typing in trade chat?
Right.
Something to do with it? I don't know. I'm not particularly fussed about it. I don't make use of recruit a friend a whole lot. When I level, I usually just kind of level. And I think that I wonder if the way that leveling is set up now actually makes it, like, I like the word streamlined, right? It's instead of it taking a whole lot longer, it's just maybe it takes a little bit longer, but since leveling is so much easier now,
yeah,
not easier, but it's a lot smoother, and you can kind of just level anywhere. Maybe it saves
There's
time.
less fuss, right? You spend, you queue, you get into a dungeon, you have 20 quests in your quest log for a specific zone. You finish said dungeon, you then outlevel said dungeon, or you outlevel said zone, and you have to go drop 20 of those low-level quests, which is inefficient.
Yeah,
then,
that was my biggest gripe.
if you are if you're map hopping efficiently, like most of us know the old school maps, you know you need to get a guildie or somebody to fly you over said mountain so you don't have to try to figure out, you know, to me, I feel like while it is a little bit, I won't say longer. I mean, we tested and it was a little bit longer, but I mean, I got to finish an entire quest line in Elwyn Forest. I didn't even know what was going on in Elwyn Forest.
I think it's kind of important to have that experience though in WoW. Like when I play, like if I was gonna play MMOs I've never played before, and it's like, here, just do these quests and you'll be max level instantly. Like I have no idea what's going on in the game. So like if you just recruit a friend, like, okay, yeah, you want to play some WoW, like but you don't want to buy a boost. Okay, we'll do recruit a friend, and we'll just grind these dungeons over and over with full heirlooms, and we'll be level 100 by whenever, level 110 by whenever. And it's like, I don't know if that's really like the right experience. And I feel like, especially with so many people clamoring for classic and then having classic be a thing, like you don't necessarily need the classic leveling in the live realms, but I feel like leveling should tell a story, and it should teach you how to play your character, and it shouldn't be just something to rush through. And if you want to level fast, then just buy a boost, I guess.
You pretty much made my point, and that was what I was going to bring up. There are so many people that are like, I'm so hyped for Classic. I can't wait. It's going to be the greatest thing ever. Then what's really going to be funny is when you go back to those days where you didn't have running water or electricity, you really remember that you never liked that. You loved the world, but you didn't like not having electricity or not having those things. Yes, it's going to be great for people to go back to when those servers are live, and it's going to be difficult, and you guys are excited that you don't have any of the benefits of now, but guys, I like now. I'm good. I like the things we have
true
now.
To the experience, get dial-up and
have, like make it really authentic, you know?
Yeah,
I feel like the recruit a friend, I understand why people are upset, and I get that people are frustrated. I have all the recruit a friend mounts and pets, and I didn't do it to get the XP boost. I did it because I wanted all the pets and the mounts. So if you don't like it, boost a tune. Just, you know, just pay the money, boost a tune. It's going to be all right. But Blizzard responded they have no intention on fixing it. So they've
no, it's like they just made the change. Like, yeah, we decided that's what's going to happen. So
yeah, they basically said, like, we appreciate the community feels this way, but there's a reason that we're doing it, and it's basically staying this way. So guys, just get comfortable.
I definitely have a more positive feeling about it than a negative feeling.
But yeah, and I mean, Rem was not very happy, but and it was funny because he doesn't do recruit a friend, so I'm like, why do you even care?
My initial reaction was not only anger, but confusion, and why would you even do this? But then the response, and I started thinking about it, it actually makes perfect sense. But initially I was like, why the fuck would you even do that?
You would have thought, like, somebody went in and, like, insulted him personally with these changes. He was pretty upset. It was pretty funny.
WoW players are passionate people. I respect that.
Yeah, we're insane nutcases. Like,
yeah, it's true.
Not a normal bone in the body.
What Bajheera said to hit it on the nail for when they first mentioned the scaling zones. you need to experience the story. It does the way they do this now. It does it perfectly.
Yeah, even if you do recruit a friend.
When it should be difficult to level. You shouldn't be able to close your eyes and complete a map or complete a quest. I really think it takes. Why are you doing it? Has always been my question when people want something to be easy. Well, then to what end though? What are you paying your money for? You're paying your money for it to just be smooth sailing, and you don't have to do anything. You really should have to put in work.
Yeah, and I've said that for a long time. It's like when you run out of stuff to do, that's when you are like, okay, this isn't fun. Like WoW is a game where there's a lot of times a lot of stuff in front of you, and it starts off with the rewards coming quickly, and then it sort of tapers off, and then it becomes there's reward systems in place that make you want to play the game more, and when those rewards start to peter out, or there's nothing in front of you, you get to be bored really quickly. It's not. Yeah. But that's why I think PvP is so much fun, because you can always play PvP.
Unless they nerf your class.
True, I get very upset when warriors aren't good.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
When was that ever a thing?
There was a season where arms wasn't good, and then I was like, I'm gonna play Fury, and then we got rank 1. So there we go.
Never really.
There was an entire expansion, which was Cataclysm, where destruction was. I didn't understand what they did. Like
that's the first time they were where they should have been.
It's never going to be as good as Miss Pandaria for destruction, though. Honestly, like those were the fucking glory days where we were just great at everything.
Pour stuff up, man. I always would get really upset when I would play a BG with Mop Destro, because they would take all my killing blows, piss me off.
Yeah, that was my favorite thing to do. Actually, I took great pride in.
Piss me off.
I took great pride in doing that.
What a dick.
Yeah,
I had to keep an eye out. It's like no Destro locks. Get away from me.
Let's be friends. We could be partners instead of being enemies. Let's band together for the greater good of killing Horde. True. Speaking of killing Horde, so BFA, guys, we've been talking about this just a little bit every show. The story. We're excited about the story because Horde and Alliance are back at conflict, which is as the world should be. I don't want to be Horde friends. I don't want to invite you to dinner at my house and have tea with you. I don't want to know you. You're Horde, you need to stay on your own map. I need to be with my people, right? Obviously, I'm talking about Horde in general. I'm not insulting actual players. Somebody last week got a little offended. Yeah, they were like, why the Horde hate? And I'm like, well,
pardon me.
Yeah, like, my bad. I apologize. I didn't mean you. So, Bajheera, I want to know from you, how important was is bringing back the conflict between Horde and Alliance? I know you're not really a whole lot of PvP or PvE, but I feel like...
Yeah, I've been doing more PvE recently, but I think like initially, like PvP is what brought me to playing WoW. And when I was first leveling, like I would get probably the most intense tunnel vision, like literal, like you get so jazzed up that your vision actually like constricts, tunnel vision in world PvP. So I think that having a focus on Horde versus Alliance now, my concern is that my community, like a lot of people hear a focus on Horde versus Alliance, I'm like, yes, a PvP expansion, finally. Like, I don't know if the focus is actually going to be on PvP, but if the storyline encourages like Horde and Alliance tension, then I imagine that will also be sort of shown in what happens in the world when you're questing. I think that, if I'm not mistaken, you start off on 2 different sides of like the island or whatever, and you eventually kind of like get closer, and so the battles will be more intense or whatever. And I think that's awesome. That being said, I do think that they also did like a world PvP thing where it's not a PvP server until you queue for it, which there's kind of some back and forth. I still think it's cool, but regardless, before I get too off track, I think that having a focus on Horde versus Alliance is a good thing. We definitely have been working together to beat some pretty bad dudes, and I think that even when you hang out with a friend that you really, really like when you're young, eventually you get sick of hanging out with them and you got to battle a little bit. Maybe that's what's going on a little bit. I like it.
I think, like, what we've been talking about, well, the toggle for the world PvP, I don't play on a PvP server, so for me, that's pretty exciting because there's some days when I'm pissed the fuck off and I want to kill people. Like, I want to see somebody questing and I want to fight. Like, let's fight. Or you did something to me previously, maybe you stole my kill, maybe you took something I was trying to get, whatever. I want to see you later in game and I want to kill you. Or get killed, whatever. But I feel like I don't know how it affects those on PvP servers. I know for PvE servers, we're pretty excited to be able to toggle that on and be able to go and do.
Yeah, from a PvP player's perspective, I think that the initial reaction is like, what? No, I want to be able to kill everybody that I see on that enemy faction. Like, I want to go gank somebody who's freshly leveled
and is so rude, guys.
Backpedaling around in a circle. I want to go one-shot them because they deserve to be one-shotted for being low geared or whatever. But there's also the fact of it being kind of annoying when somebody brings a raid group to come camp you when you're just doing world quests on stream. That's a little annoying. So it might actually be kind of nice to be able to toggle that off. But the other thing is that when you queue for the PvP thing, like the world PvP, this could have changed, but I heard that there's like better rewards for that kind of thing. So maybe
they're going to increase the experience too while leveling supposedly,
which is awesome. And two, you're actually going to match up against people who actually want to fight. So instead of it being like you have to like hunt people, like they're going to be doing the same thing. So it makes it like a different experience, right? Because when you see somebody in world PvP, you're like, are you going to attack me or not? But like in the PvP, like enabled phasing, you know people are going to try to kill you. So it makes it a little bit more fun, I think.
And the way that they have it set up, at least the way that they talked about it, is it won't be a thing either where maybe you're fighting somebody and maybe you're winning and they want to go home and cry about it. They toggle it off. They can't do that. They have to be in a safe zone.
All the way back to the home
they have to go back to their city, which I think is great.
Which is that's actually fun because like sometimes in world PvP, like you get your fights in, you kill them a couple times, they bring friends, and then your thing is you have to find a way to escape. And so that's kind of what it is. Like when you get into there, that makes it fun.
I feel like that should be a new PvP brawl.
Yeah, or you can escape, so you call in your guildies, and what used to be a questing experience becomes a brawl. And if that's what you're looking for out of world PvP, I think that this little phasing thing actually makes that better. Even if your first response is, what the heck? Why are they making every server a Care Bear server now? It's like, no. Think about it. That's kind of what I think.
I like that perspective because I feel like it scared a lot of the PvPers initially. Whereas me, I was like, yes. Yeah, I feel like
I hope it brings back rivalries on servers or connected servers because, for instance, I still remember his name to this day. There was a fucking Death Knight.
You said the F word. You never say the F word. Whoa.
There was a Death Knight on
riled up. I like it.
Bleeding Hollow. I was Horde. He was Alliance, a human Death Knight. Ray's Days. He's a little punk. Everyone hated him.
He's probably like 40 with kids by now, dude.
He probably played a tank, didn't he?
He was a black.
Of course he was. Anybody who like just cannot get enough world PvP is either like a rogue or a tank.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Tanks in PvP.
Back.
On the tanks, dude.
Tanks in PvP make me rage like no other. So I hope you're not a tank in PvP at any point because I absolutely...
I literally don't even own my prot weapons on both my warriors. I never did the artifact quest.
I don't know about you, but double blood and choose arenas during Mist, that was hilarious, okay?
No, tanks don't fucking belong in PvP. Period.
True.
Period. I'm telling you, Method broke my heart when they brought out Bean, man. I'm like, wait, what are you doing? Why is this happening? Yeah, tanks don't belong in PvP. I gotta say. I mean, I always get so much hate when I say that. I actually get hate mail. People email me and they're very upset. They're like, I main a tank.
Play PvP.
Yeah, to me, it's a cop out. Tanks in PvP is a cop out in my opinion.
They're not right in the head.
Right, exactly. God,
they write you angry emails.
I love that you are on the same page with me as that. Man, that feels good. See, Rem, maybe I'm not insane.
I mean,
all the way. Okay, maybe I am a little bit. So, I want to know, when it comes to new expansions, do you still get like that feeling? You know that feeling I'm talking about, right? Like that feeling.
I actually get too excited. I have to chill out because like I'll get overwhelmed, like because I'm trying to like experience all the new stuff. Like for myself, like as a gamer, as like a WoW player, but at the same time also trying to stream, so it becomes like a whole lot. So I have to prepare myself. So, but yeah, I definitely get really hyped up for it. So
I always wonder if like the longer people are doing it, especially with content creation, if they kind of lose that love. Because I don't. Like I'm a lifer all the way, but I just that's always interesting to find out.
No, I love new expansions. I mean, it's not a big surprise to say, but like new expansions are like my favorite time for a while, when everybody's a noob and everybody has like horrible gear and everybody's just trying to like do everything they can to get like, you know, a little bit better gear or put it in the grind. And like, I know we just got done talking about it, but world PvP during the beginning of new expansions is always like the best.
Yeah, because everybody's leveling.
So, yeah. So it's really fun. But I mean, and from the perspective of a content creator, everybody wants to see the new expansion too. So as a player, it's really exciting, but also as a content creator, it's really cool because everybody's looking for info on the new expansion. Everybody's looking for gameplay. So, yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. New expansions are just, they breathe life, you know? They just breathe life, and I love the feeling of not knowing what's going on. I love having to figure stuff out and not being the guy that has, you know, answering the questions. Unfortunately, it's really difficult. I try to not know all the things, but I kind of have to, so...
You're just too dang good. That's
I know. I try to avoid, like, I'm really happy they keep the cinematics out of, like, PTRs and stuff like that, because at least I don't get that ruined for me, as long as I stay away from sites that data mine that. But yeah, I like to be new, and I like to feel the fumbly feeling of me being frustrated because I can't figure something out, or I don't know where I missed this or that. It's nice to just not know all the things all the time.
Yeah, and like without getting into it too much, like I'm not a big fan of like the data mining stuff, realistically. Yeah, but like I don't spend a lot of time looking at it because I like it to be a surprise. But I do really like the betas and stuff.
Yeah,
because you actually are a part of like the development process, and things change, and you get to enjoy like really gnarly bugs or like stupid like busted OP stuff. That's fun too. But,
when you get to show people that don't have that kind of access, which is cool.
Exactly.
And then I get to be like, neener, I got it, you don't, because that's the kind of person I am. Just kidding, guys.
And then they get it removed.
Right. And then I'm banned on Twitter. That's a thing, guys. People are getting banned left and right. Be careful. Careful what you tweet.
And DM.
And I knew you were going to try to bring that up. I wasn't going to bring it up with Bajheera here because I felt like it was not appropriate. But I'm going to tell you because I feel like you want to know.
I'm a fragile
I didn't bring anything up.
Flower. Do not offend my sensibilities.
Listen. So my birthday was on the 23rd. Okay.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I'm old as fuck, but that's okay. We're going to move on and get
Same.
it. We're chucking through. Getting old is hard. Like, it's tough. So
I've been old for a while.
I've bragged for the last year or so. I've bragged about how girls in our industry, they get some DMs that are not the best DMs. But I've been bragging recently about how I've never gotten a dick pic.
I see.
On my birthday, I opened my DMs. What do you suppose I saw in my DMs?
Zesty decision.
I thought to myself, is this happening right now? I was mad. Like, I was absolutely mad. And the line was, here's a pic for your birthday. Oh, you got me what I always didn't want. Thanks. So I'm mad, and I'm pacing around my office, and my husband comes in here, and he's going, what's going on? And I'm like, you're never going to believe what just happened to me. He's laughing hysterically. Like, he is having a complete breakdown, laughing hysterically, and I am mad. Never in my life has that ever happened to me, ever.
I can completely understand both perspectives.
Oh, you get dick pics too? That's
right. He probably gets them a lot because of the beard, honestly.
Well,
yeah. Seriously, it's the beard.
Yeah. I think it's probably a good idea to giggle about it, but it's also perfectly reasonable.
No, it's
extremely
serious, but it's funny.
I was mad. So I didn't do the thing that girls do on the internet that I don't like. They tag them. They post the DMs. They publicly berate. Right? I can vent and tell you that you're an asshole without having to tag you and post your stuff on social media, so then all the white knights come and all those things happen and we feel like we got to just publicly bash this person. Like, obviously that's not necessary. So I vented, but I didn't I didn't include him, or people were like, well, I don't see why you don't post the pic and make fun of him, because I don't feel like that's going to help the situation. Like, I don't want to see it twice, I'll tell you that. Like, I deleted it.
To proliferate. I mean, right? Just reporting.
I'm not trying to make his wiener famous. Like, I'm just trying to say how I feel. So, yeah, in 36 years, yes, I'm 36. In 36 years, I got my very first inappropriate picture. It was absolutely ghastly. Ghastly. I can't. Oh, ghastly.
Talking about Pokemon.
Guys, it's tough to be on the internet these days with anything. But then it made me realize why I used to get mad at people that didn't follow me back on Twitter. I'd get really offended.
Let me get right on that, actually.
But I'm like, I'm cool too. Like, I'm in the cool guy club. Why can't I be followed back? So then I realized why people don't follow back a lot, especially when you're a content creator and people see you, because you never know what you're going to get. Follow back.
Slide in them DMs, the ghastly one.
Anyway, we went way off track. The second, I knew that's what I said. That's what I'm telling you. Nobody else caught, but that's what Rem does. He does things on purpose when I try to behave myself. It's a bad influence on me.
Yep.
It's an awful thing. All right.
I said 2 letters and
BFA.
I didn't do anything.
allied race, are you going to be involved? Do you not care?
See, I don't know if I would, because I'm sentimental, right? So when I make a character, for the most part, once the character develops, I don't like to change their race because that's who they are. I do think that a lot of the allied race racials are absolutely busted if they stay the way they are. They're insane, and they always do this with racials. But I don't know how that. I feel like people. I don't want to say they're encouraging people to faction change, but I mean, or to race change. I mean, like they are probably making really cool racials and really cool abilities, and they want people to interact with them.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I don't think I'll be race changing any of my like characters. Like my two warriors probably gonna stay the way they are. But I think if I was gonna try one, it would probably be High Mountain Tauren. One, because Tauren are badass.
Yeah,
two,
Tauren are badass.
Because they have this charge thing, so they usually have
the bull rush, yeah.
Yeah, like a charge now, an extra charge for a warrior that stuns. Like
so, yeah, it charges and it also stuns for the bull rush.
Yeah,
so
busted.
Yeah, because I don't already get like triple fucking stunned going against a warrior in a battleground anyway. Right now, where I basically die in a CC, you never do that ever. Let
me tell you, you don't get triple stun because they took away charge stun.
Well, good.
Pissed about it still.
When did they take that away?
A while ago. I think it was in Legion they took it away.
It had to have been because it had to have been maybe after Legion. So I was complaining about warriors at the beginning of Legion. Warriors and demon hunters.
Yeah. Any of melee is probably really annoying to fight as a Destro, I imagine.
Yeah.
I got to give you some stern truth though. Destro actually owns right now. You might not like the play style problem, but in arena it actually owns.
I haven't played any arenas. I have not played since Draenor because I didn't understand the changes in Draenor and I couldn't emotionally I couldn't cope. So I just did battlegrounds
And I feel that. Yeah. If you don't like the playstyle, that's one thing, but Destro pumps right now.
I'm gonna have to check it out then. I feel like I'm gonna have to just quit bitching about it and just do it.
Go,
you have to do that in arenas though. You have to get your teeth kicked in, especially when you're relearning your spec.
Yeah, the priest and warlock is actually pretty good.
Yeah, you have to
Shadow
get your
Priest, warlock, and a resto shaman. You guys will own.
Ooh, I like it. Look at that, guys. We're going high rated, guys. We're gonna.
So I've been telling her this for a while, but since Bajheera tells her.
I just feel like he does it on purpose to try to pump me up because Draenor was really bad for me because PvP was pretty much my life. And then Legion's been a little rough just because I have issues with not having gear vendors and RNG in gearing. Yes. I feel like that RNG doesn't belong as the sole means of PvP gearing. And I feel like in Blizzard's quest to make PvP open to everyone that they forgot about the people that have been there the whole time. And we're not even going to go into that because we already know, guys. We're beating a dead horse.
Limited time.
Yeah.
But I feel like regarding the allied races, I'm the same way. Like Belle, to me, she is her own individual. I refer to her as Belle. When I say Belle, people know that I'm talking about her. I would never, she's human. I really like the human butt. I love her being human. And I probably won't race change any of the other ones. I'll probably end up boosting. I'll probably boost a random, but I'm obsessed with Nightborn, so I am going to hand level a Nightborn so I can get the heritage armor.
There you go.
Yeah, because I really need to be an illusion.
What are you hiding?
See? It's like we're in sync. Man.
But also, speaking on the busted racials, because Void Elves is what I'm going to be.
They have a teleport, right? Void Elves?
Busted.
So yeah, they have the teleport. They have the racial for there's no knockback on casting, which is actually pretty insane. But, it's pretty busted. Oh, yeah, and reduced damage. I think it was on something other, but yeah, no, it's pretty busted.
Yeah,
I'm happy.
They always do that though. Everything's like in the very beginning, it's all like OP.
Nutty, yeah.
And then they nerf it to the ground, and everybody's crying because they invested all this time into something that they should have known was going to change anyway. But
Death Knights are still pretty good.
Yeah, they're like the exception though. Death Knights. I wish I could melee. I'm not really good at melee.
Oh, you could definitely play a Death Knight.
Unholy.
Unholy is actually like challenging a little bit. You could definitely play Frost. People are like, be sure to make a Frost guide. I'm like, ready? Press whatever lights up, and then you're good to go.
Me and melee is like me and FPS.
You just pick up your keyboard and just apply it to your and you're good.
Oh man.
I have played a Frost DK, and it is a guilty pleasure. Let me tell you that. It is hilarious.
Oh no, it's fun.
But then I found Deathwish Fury. Well, I've known about Deathwish Fury. Then I just went back to Deathwish Fury. And that's the
I think
best.
warrior and the paladin are the only two classes I don't have, which we're actually going to be leveling because I feel
Well, you're a
like
lock. Like it would be wrong for you. That's like me leveling a mage. Like it's just, it's treason.
I'm going to level a warrior and a paladin so I can learn to kill them.
What are you gonna? What allied race are you gonna make your warrior and paladin? Because you may as well, right?
Yeah, you're right. You might as well. It makes sense. That's actually a really good question. I don't really dig the Lightforged Draenei, and I know I'm not making friends here, and it's probably not a popular opinion, right? Because anything Draenei, like, everybody are obsessed with, but it's just not really my...
I started as a Draenei, but I'm not offended. Do you know that? I started as a Draenei warrior.
Yeah, but it just feels so...
It's fine. I'm not, like I said, I'm not offended. I'm no longer a Draenei.
It's like Night Elves to me. They're very, like...
Whoa, Night Elf is the right
I'm not
elf.
insulting Night Elves, guys.
They're aesthetic AF.
Put your pitchforks away. Night Elves have nice racks, guys. Like, I'm not even talking about that, but I just feel like there's an overabundance of them, right?
I mean, not all my characters are Night Elf. Some of them are dwarves.
So, dwarves are actually awkward, but my favorite, just because you don't really expect dwarves because they're not the most known.
Because they're short and stout. Here's
So-
the handle. Here's...
So you probably couldn't play. You can't play a paladin as a dark iron dwarf, can you?
Probably not.
So you can play-
Not
you
if they're
can
gonna stick with
play a
story.
dark-
anymore.
You can play a dark iron dwarf warrior.
I would do it
Yeah.
with the Princess Leia buns, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm in. Let's do it.
I'm definitely. If I make another warrior, it'd be a Tauren.
I've avoided the paladin and warrior, but I need to.
Embrace the light and embrace.
Well, I feel
the
like when you level and you play, even if it's just casually, I feel like it gives you just a better understanding of what that class has utility wise, so that you can kill them. It's like
Yeah.
infiltrating the enemy camp type of deal.
Sure.
It wasn't until I leveled a DK until I learned how to kill them in PvP, which is actually pretty nice now. Yeah,
It's good.
Warlocks
It's a
do
good
kill
way to do
DKs easy mode. Okay.
Just kidding, AMS.
Once that's down, though, see ya, nerd.
I fucking hate AMS.
I don't care about AMS.
Nothing eats your Chaos Bolt and makes you want to kill yourself, like wasting the cast because you didn't realize AMS was up and you're like, oh, sorry, I just wasted all that power.
You can break the AMS. It doesn't absorb that much damage.
Love my Chaos Bolt. So, guys, we talked about we were going to hold off on dealing with any of the cinematics for the Antorus raid, right? We gave you guys like 2 or 3 weeks of being able to get an LFR, watch all the things, do all the things. I had to literally hold Rem off from spoiling anything. Now I'm going to unleash the beast and allow him to talk about these. We don't know if they're epilogues, prologues. We don't really know.
Epilogues.
Are they epilogues?
Because a prologue
Felt pretty epi to me.
Right, felt pretty. It was a little epi, right? But
Had epi notes.
epilogu. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
is it it's coming after, but it's before BFA? So is it still an epilogue or is it a pro?
It's an epilogue of the current content so that the prologue for BFA can happen.
Closing it out.
I'm gonna have to just sit through this in my head while you talk about the cinematic because the blonde is happening right now, guys. I'm blonde at heart, right? Like naturally I'm blonde. So anyway, now you are free to talk about the things.
Cool. So the Antorus cinematic is good, and so on. So we finally see Sargeras, not just an image or a avatar of him. It's his true form. During the cinematic, you are sitting in the Pantheon, the seat of the Pantheon. You are among all the Titans, and they send you off and go, "Oh, we got to collect our power." Are you playing the video or no? Oh, when are you?
Was I supposed to?
I was immersed.
Shit.
I'm there. I'm right there with you.
Like you just broke our. Like we were there and you broke it. Was I supposed to play the video?
You're painting a beautiful mental image for me.
The problem is I didn't want to play that and have Blizzard get pissed off at me that I played their cinematic, so I just didn't.
Oh.
I feel like I should get a whiteboard and draw. Like maybe we could draw stick figures.
Continue.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'll get on paper.
I failed you. I'm sorry.
So at the end of the raid, you are sitting amongst the Titans on the seat of the Pantheon, and they send you off, and they're like, "Oh, we have to collect our power," and everyone gets sent off back to the Vindicar, and Velen is turning back and speaking to Illidan, He's like, "Oh, you're not coming." Blah blah blah. And it's pretty cool how Illidan speaks. He uses the same thing he used against Maiev, where he says, "What is a hunter without the hunt?" Where he said that to Maiev at the end of Black Temple, whereas if you take me, you are nothing. Like you are nothing without the hunt. And so it's full circle. He becomes the warden, not the warden, but he becomes the jailer for Sargeras. And so it pans out to us sitting off in the Vendikar, and all the Titans, all, what's the word? They do it all dramatically, where Aman'Thul says, Sargeras, your crusade is over, and they shoot a beam at him. And there's a cloud all around Azeroth, and it hits Sargeras. He's all pissed. And so we see his full size. He is like literally huddled over Azeroth, and people are saying like, "Oh, we're going to kick his ass. Oh, we're going to do this." No, we're not. Like his sword in length was bigger than Azeroth, and he's getting pulled away. And as his last like gripe, like kind of like F you to us and Azeroth, he pulls out his sword, Gorbal, stabs into Silithus, which you see now, and it penetrates innuendos into the core of Azeroth.
Mature, God.
And so it's penetrated into the crust and to the world soul, and that's where you start to see the Azerite. It's the blood of the Titan hemorrhaging, pouring, I don't know whatever you want to call it, out of the crust. And then it so it pans out with Sargeras falling onto his seat, and Illidan's all like, finally the time has come. And it's really it doesn't make any sense, because Illidan is like a fraction of his power. But what it gives kind of like a cliffhanger, because there's a lot they can do with that, or maybe kind of explain a little bit later on, like what's going on afterwards. Like, oh, is Illidan just hanging out there talking to everyone there, or is he just
didn't Illidan go back to fight? Like
No, he's staying on the seat of the Pantheon. He's going to be doing what Maiev did to him. He's going to sit there and make sure, hopefully he does a better job, but he's going to make sure Sargeras does not mess
plot twist, he's going to work with Sargeras, and...
Or maybe he absorbs his power and he becomes the next big bad. But
Illidan is about to whoop that ass for
so.
He is about to give him the business.
So what I like about this, people might not realize, is since the War of the Ancients, this has been his life goal since that moment. So it's kind of like I said, it's a full circle. This has been his end game forever.
Yeah, but now we have a crusty sword sticking out of a gaping wound.
No, so since Sargeras is sitting there, all the Titans have to remain there and use their power to hold Sargeras there. And so we're not actually going to have any help whatsoever with the events that'll go on for BFA and later on with N'Zoth and the Old Gods. So
they're not usually that much help in the raids anyway, so
that's valid.
That's why I don't like Thrall.
Not as usual.
I'm still bitter about Thrall in Siege of Orgrimmar. He like leads us to go kill Garrosh, and then like Garrosh hits him one time and he starts whining like a little bitch and just sits there and stares at us while we're wiping 50 times trying to get that.
Yeah.
And then
on the broken shore,
like, oh, look what we did.
Khadgar just stares at you and tells you to be faster at whatever you're doing.
And on the broken shore, his hip goes out. He falls down. And he's like, "Retreat! Leave him behind! Leave Varian! Save the horde!" Ah, freaking
the NPCs don't ever help you.
Pissing me all the way.
I get mad. I always, whenever I'm playing, I get mad. When we did the Broken Shore stuff, I was actually cussing out the NPCs because I was pissed off because I kept dying and they weren't helping me.
I was at once so hyped for Varian being as much of a badass as he was, and then devastated that he was gone, and then full rage mode at freaking Sylvanas, man. I blame her still. I don't want to get into it with my chat. I know the people watching right here from my chat. If you guys don't start with me in the chat room right now, okay? My composure.
Was very nervous about Anduin, and I had been saying, you know, for the year leading up to this, I think we knew what was coming eventually. He's a boy. At some point, he was going to be king. I just needed to see some balls. I need to see that you're my king. I'm not going to follow you
have some cojones.
just because you have the title. You need to prove to me that you know, you're going to get in there and get dirty with me and we're going to kill some shit. But I finally feel like we're seeing a side of him that I need to see in order to follow. Because I'll follow you and I'll, like, we'll go to town and we'll kill everybody. I'll set everything on fire. But I need to know that you're not a pansy, because he's always been kind of painted as, like...
Well, him and Rathian were a little butt buddies, so, I mean, yeah. Kind of hesitant.
Guys, I'm telling you, Rathian, don't trust him. I'm still bitter about Admiral Taylor's garrison. Like,
oh yeah,
he killed everybody. I'm really sad about that.
So
I feel like just one quick thing. I think Anduin had the luxury of being all about peace when he wasn't actually having to make the tough call.
In the forefront, yeah. Now he's seeing the world. Yeah.
Now that he's the king, he's like, we do have to really actually kind of exert a little bit, don't we? Or else we're run over.
We might have to kill some people. Like, maybe not all the people, but we're gonna have to kill some people.
Yeah. And then so at the very end, not the very end, but so it's the epilogue for Antorus, but it's the prologue for Silithus. Okay, that make
yes.
So the Horde and Alliance,
totally get it. Got you.
The Horde and Alliance have separate cinematics, obviously, and the cinematics actually kind of bugged me a little bit because, for instance, in the Horde one, all the leaders are sitting on the table, and Bane is sitting like, oh, we defeated the Burning Legion, and I'm like, you didn't do anything. WTF? Like,
yeah.
He didn't help?
No, not Bane. No.
Oh. Where was he?
The only one that helped at that table was Liadrin, the blood elf for the...
I hope Bajheera knows who that is, because I have no fucking idea what you're talking about.
some blood elf.
Yeah. Lore's not my strong suit. That's why I have Rem. He just tells me everything I need to know that's relevant, because I have no idea.
So Liadrin is currently leading the Blood Knights, the sect for blood elf paladins.
Okay.
So she's kind of important.
Okay. Well, thanks for the help.
Yeah, because I needed to connect those dots.
But it shows each faction learning about Azurite and what it entails for BFA. And so we have that leading into Seething Shore, the new battleground, which is pretty badass. I don't know if you were able to test it during the PTR Bajheera, but it's top notch.
Cool. I didn't play it yet.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't. I was gonna download the PTR and it was gonna take like 4 hours. I was like, I don't have time for this.
Well, and it was like a 3-hour queue anyway, just to get into one. It was kind of a shit show.
Yeah.
But it's exciting for a different type of strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you get to parachute off your boat, and that's the graveyard also. So people can't farm graveyards, which I'm fucking so excited for. But you res on the boat, and then each time you get to parachute down, so you can get the perfect vantage point. Mm-hmm. To be able to parachute to do your thing.
You can't do reinforcement control as easily. I'll find a way.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about not being farmed by meanies like warriors in Battlegrounds.
just curious, what's your character's name? It's random.
It's literally Belle, so you would know if you farmed said very nice warlock.
Right.
It's not happening.
So the way the Alliance one goes is... Manduin is sitting there addressing the people again, saying, oh, we defeated the Burning Legion, we did this, we did that. He picked up a sword, whoop-de-doo. And you show, it's pretty cool, Gen Greymane is sitting out behind the crowd, and he has a smile across his face, which I thought was kind of paying a homage to the fact that he lost his son, and he's kind of seeing what he wanted his son to become.
See, I thought he looked constipated. I didn't know that was like a smile.
I didn't think about that. That is so sweet.
But because Anduin's under his tutelage, so
that's so sweet. I hadn't thought about that. I thought he was just proud because he's like, Manduin, good job, kid. But I didn't think about the thing about his son. Aww.
You know, as much as I do not like Greymane because of his past mistakes, but he's showing a new light, and it's pretty cool. And the fact that Anduin just lost his dad, so it's kind of like they cross together. But Matthias Shaw, he is one of the SI7 spies, so he's like the James Bond of the Alliance. Short term way of explaining that, but he comes up, says, oh, something serious, and they go behind the altar and he shows him the shard of Azerite, and it's, I don't know if it really expresses how much power is in that, but so we get that heart of Azeroth, and we're going to use the Azerite to power that, and it's going to be more powerful than the artifact weapons because it's straight from the Titan World Soul. So we're going to have like a raw power of arcane at our disposal. Not like arcane like pew pew, but the actual power. So
That's how crackheads are made.
yeah, that's how you get what's his name?
I mean, the Nightborn. Did we not learn anything from Summer?
the Nazuna, the Runus, the whatever his name is.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, a crystal. I'm not a crack addict.
Oh yeah. I think, did we kill him? No, maybe I tried.
No.
But if we put it in a necklace, it's different.
Yeah, it's totally different.
Exactly.
We won't be affected by any of that, raw
It's
power.
a controlled substance that we're not ODing on, so it's
Right.
okay.
Right.
I don't know if I like that, Rem. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
really honest.
I mean, yeah. But the Horde and Alliance ones are very similar, but it's the goblins are taking initiative and they're actually mining the Azurite.
No, they're not taking initiative. The goblins see money. Time
That's what
is
I'm
money.
saying.
Bajheera
They're
said it
not
earlier.
taking- they're not taking initiative for the Horde. They're
Yeah.
taking initiative for their coffers and their pockets.
Yeah, that's bank account lining right there. Like, that's smart business, because if I was a goblin, I'd be doing the same thing.
What he should have done was told Sylvanas, oh, hey, look at this little gem on the end of my staff. This is not going the way I wanted it to. But anyways.
Continue. You have my attention.
Try not to make it awkward here, but what the fuck are you talking
But
about?
it kind of shows. So when
Context, Rem, context.
all the Horde leaders are sitting at the table. The Goblin leader walks up, speaks to Sylvanas. They go off to back to the curtains, and they're like, "Oh, hey, here's this Azurite. Here's what it can do. Well, not here what it can do, but here's the potential." And she's like, "Oh, this changes everything." And it also, it also has an underlying of how shady Sylvanas still is, because she steps away from the other leaders, which should be her equals, and is just shady. So it's foreshadowing for sure, and it shows how united the alliance is and how distant the Horde leaders still are, in my opinion, because I don't know, it just felt that way through the cinematics.
I agree.
Yeah.
Sylvanas is sneaky.
Yeah.
Horde is divided and vulnerable.
Right. It's time to kill.
Time to strike.
That's right. All of them.
Time to strike.
I'm excited. I didn't watch the Horde version. I feel like I should, so that I can see like that part of things, but I'm ready to kill stuff, guys. It's time.
There's one last part about both cinematics. Is who was that robot character at the end?
Oh, that was just a random SI7 agent with a bird.
Now, it's funny that you said that, because I said the same thing to him a couple days ago. I said, hey, who's this?
Jaina. That's what I said. I think it's Jaina.
Jaina?
Initially, I thought it might have been like Illyria. I wasn't really sure because there was like a hood, so I didn't know. But I asked to see. He tried to tell me it was a rando. Blizzard doesn't ever do anything random.
No, it's the same regalia that the SI7 wear. So
that's because they're undercover, dude. I'm telling you.
You don't think Jaina's undercover? Where's she been? Nobody knows.
Well, we know
right there. Now. She's been there charging her spirit bomb with to drop it on those goblins.
Well,
I'm glad I'm not the only one that asked that question.
That's what I think. I said it, Jaina.
Well, they made it look like that, but no, it's just an SI7 agent.
Spoiler alert! It's probably
and there was no pointy ears coming through the hood, so it's not any elves, but it's just an agent for SI7.
Maybe.
It
Dreadlord
is.
Jaina. Dreadlord Jaina, maybe.
We're not going back to that.
What did you think about the? I don't know if we talked about this. I'm sure we can. What do you think about the ogre's little diary?
Oh, Ogmont. We were going to talk about that sometime soon.
Okay, that's fine.
But no, so
I've been trying to get him to tell me what some of that means, because I was reading through comments trying to figure it out, right?
I'll tell you what I think.
Uh-oh.
I think Sylvanas is leading the Horde the wrong way. I think that's what he said.
100%. But so with Ogmont, it speaks on the Shadow Priest dagger, Xalatoth, and it actually references the dagger and how it speaks to him, and so that's obviously what it's talking about.
And
but,
Il'gynoth's whispers, yes?
All that void stuff.
Yeah.
Because doesn't Il'gynoth whisper things to you in Raid?
Yeah, no, because he's communing with the old gods, and Il'gynoth is part of the old gods.
And we do agree that the female that he's talking about is Sylvanas, right? I think we agree.
That's like my first guess.
That was my first, yeah.
That's last on the list. I think there are other ones that he could be talking about, though, which is probably part of the fun of it. I think that it doesn't only have to be Sylvanas.
Right.
But I think it's definitely like Sylvanas is like the obvious choice, which means that it might not be Sylvanas.
And they mentioned Anduin. Well, we think it's Anduin. He'll bring 3 lies, right? The first lie's already happened. What are the other 2?
What was the first lie that about him?
I don't know that they said that. Rem might know.
I don't recall the exact lies, but there was also theories that Rathian could be the one with the 3 lies, because
it's true.
During Mist, he was like, "Oh, there's this big invasion thing coming. We need to either join together or take out each other." And there's just other things that it could possibly be, but the references
too big of a lie.
I mean, it wasn't, but at the same time, where is he at the moment? So
yeah, I'm the wrong one to ask.
Did you do your legendary cloak?
No.
You didn't do your legendary cloak?
No.
Scrub.
I know. I was all of it. Like, I didn't do anything.
Nothing at all. You didn't even go to Timeless Isle to farm when you could kill everybody.
Players, yes.
Farm players for the
So
Ordos.
when you're doing the legendary, Rathian is pretending to be your friend, right? Like, he's helping you. He's trying to be your dude, like, whatever. I always got a really creepy, like, get in my van type of vibe from Rathian and doing this quest line.
Is Rathian the guy with like the baker's hat?
Yeah, well, it's
okay.
And he's got the earring.
Turban thing, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's this one.
It's a turban. Okay, I was just thinking.
Is it a turban?
Elevated hat. I think it is a turban.
I just remember the earring that I thought was super like.
I just remember just this guy with the hat that went up. I didn't know if it was a baker's hat or a turban. Okay, a turban, great.
He's a little tiny, like
that makes more sense. He
takes you onto this mountain to empower your legendary, right? The whole scene, you get a super weird vibe. Like, I'm thinking, this guy's going to take me to my fucking death right now where nobody can help me, and he's going to kill me on top of this mountain. Like, this is some biblical shit. Like, it's going to go down.
Did he do the same sort of thing with Legendary Ring, or is that something different? In what?
No, the Sha touch stuff for your weapon gem thing. That you had.
Yeah, if you did a Sha touched, which you might have for your gem slot for your PvP weapon, maybe. I feel like I used a Sha touch for my PvP weapon.
Maybe. I'm just such a PvE noob. I actually I've been doing more PvE this expansion.
Well,
I mean, you kind of have to, unfortunately.
True.
I got a bad vibe from him then, and then we go through Draenor, and we end up in. If you probably went to Admiral Taylor's garrison because you had to level, so it was in part of that leveling process. So you get there.
Spires of Rock.
Everybody's dead.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Then you come across this journal from somebody from his garrison, and this journal, they're talking about how Rathian's going to save them, and they're going to bring them supplies, and he's going to bring them food, and he's bringing a ship right now, and then all of a sudden everybody's dead. So to me...
You think that he did it? You don't think he just...
I 100% think he did it. 100%. And I'm bitter about it because Admiral Taylor was my dude, and now he's dead.
Why would they do that?
Why is crazy crazy?
True.
I feel like he's the guy that's pulling all the strings anyway in the background.
Have you done Netherian's Lair?
Yes.
The dungeon?
Yeah. I have done that.
So at the very end, Ebonhorn, who is part of the Black Dragonflight, he says, "I have family business to attend to." The only family he has left in Black Dragonflight that is of significance is Rathian. So that might be foreshadowing stuff for BFA, possibly.
I see. I'm getting some lore lessons right now. This is good stuff.
He's the only reason I know anything when it comes to story, because I am like you. It is just not my,
Yeah. Let you get down.
It's just not my. It's not part of my life every day.
Sargeras is like being pulled out of the plane. I'm like, oh, who's that big fella?
And he'll be reacting to something, and I have no reaction because I don't know I'm supposed to have a reaction, right? I don't realize that there's a full circle moment that just happened, or there was a nod to this thing. He has to tell me what that means. Otherwise, I don't. It's tough being my friend, right, Rem? It's tough.
It's okay.
It's a tough job. So I do want to dive into the Ogmont journal. I am actually thinking I'm going to make Rem pull apart all that stuff. for
Nice.
another episode and make him like go through all that. I like Rem's lore because he kind of tells me like it is a little bit, but could be
That's
worse.
good.
Yeah. You got to have a lore friend if you don't know it, because then you don't know.
True.
You're at
Everyone
BlizzCon watching cinematics for a new expansion. You're like, what does that mean? He's like, well, this is what that means.
Who's that blonde guy?
Right? Wait, that's our king? Shit.
Oh no.
Okay. PvP, guys.
All right.
EU Cup is starting January 31st.
They're firing it right up, man.
The NA is going to start February 7th. Remember, we talked about there's going to be 3 seasons, and there's going to be 3 cups per, 3 for NA, 3 for EU for each season.
Yeah.
I think it's 3, right?
Yeah, so it's way more games, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be like WoW esports pretty much like every weekend during the seasons almost, I think, is what it is. So it's going to end up being awesome. And what's cool is that not only is there more prize money, it's going to be a situation where the NA and EU teams get to face off against each other more than just at the very end of the year. So the rivalry sort of gets to build. And I think with this like how many more tournaments and how many more tournament games we have, I think the meta will evolve a little bit more as the year goes on, which is really, really cool. So I think it's definitely going to be an awesome year for WoW esports.
We were talking pre-show. I'm hoping to see some old players, maybe some guys that retired, or because they retire at like the age of 22 because they felt like they hit their peak, so they hung up their arena gloves. But I feel like with the amount of money involved, like,
well, and the new systems is just better. So,
but I mean, money brings boys to the yard, guys. Like, let's be honest. So I feel like I'd like to see some guys that we haven't seen for a while. The amount of teams in general, I think, is going to be pretty crazy. And I'd like to see some little guys. I'd like to see people that we don't see all the time. I want to maybe fall in love. I mean, I'm Team Method all the way, and it just is what it is. It's been that way for years. However, I like other teams. I just don't like other teams.
I think that it's even more likely that people will be brought up into PvP than like people will be coming back to it. We'll see. I mean, I think it'd be cool to see. I know that we'll see like repeat players who are playing last year, probably playing with new teams this year, which would be really cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
I think it'll bring people up.
Last season, Rub Cub going through 3 different teams and winning it. So.
Yeah, that was pretty nuts.
Because that's a fairy tale story if I've ever heard one before. Like, he had more issues, and I don't understand why. I mean, I know why, but like, and he still did his damn thing. He didn't give a shit. Like, he just kept on rolling. Not a big deal. Yeah.
Their team was so funny because they didn't even really have a comp to play.
Right. Right.
They just played like random stuff that maybe could work, and they were shocking people all the way up to damn near the finals. It was awesome.
Sad as it was for me, it was a happy thing. It's nice to see people that are betting on the wrong people.
Anytime an NA team does well at BlizzCon, it is the coolest thing.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'd like to see an NA win. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
That's my only gripe about meta stuff is it feels like it locks where you're going to go up against. I like people that just throw random shit in there.
Yeah, it's
Synergy's dirty double demon hunter.
That's not even that random, really. It's just you do have to in WoW right now because of the way things are set up. Each class brings something to the table, but like no class. I mean, well, some classes have a ton of utility, but the way it's set up is that utility was removed in a big way, so that you kind of have to really match up with teams that form a complete unit, and so you're really somewhat limited to those comps. As in, like, there are only certain comps that can actually be effective at a pretty high level, and then after that point, it just becomes kind of rock paper scissors. But one of the things that we just saw was some of the Legion like class design notes talking about how they want to bring some of that uniqueness and utility back, which is
I'm down for more utility
because anytime you can just outplay your opponent just because that's what your class is capable of, not because of like your comp lines up well against them. Mm-hmm. That's when a bunch of random comps can occur, and that's when I think gameplay gets the most interesting. So hopefully we'll continue to be able to hear more about that. But no matter what, I think that BFA is going to be an awesome PvP expansion. But this upcoming season of PvP for like competitive PvP is going to be awesome too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's going to be really good. I want to see some upsets. Like, we had a lot of really good upsets last year, but I want to see just
last year was the year of upsets for sure. But I think that especially with, like I said, that with this many more games being played, it gets teams a chance to actually play against each other in a tournament environment, see what, because there are good compositions for sure, but there are things that sort of develop out of a meta, right? So like if, for example, if like caster cleave becomes really, really good, and everybody just runs caster cleave into each other, you're going to have to find a comp that, instead of just going along with it, you can find a comp that does really well against that particular setup. And then teams have to be prepared for that, as well as being able to run what they've done before. So that's why I think multi-classing becomes really popular. And if multi-classing becomes popular, then people end up trying to play classes that they're not necessarily the most comfortable with, but they're just trying to find a comp that they can play against each other. And I think that's what sets up some of the most insane upsets, is because even though a team is like a powerhouse team playing one particular comp, if they try to play something different that they're not as comfortable on just to try to outcomp their opponents, then mistakes can be made and things can happen, especially in a tournament environment. So it gets really exciting.
I 100% agree. I've always been frustrated with seeing the same at the top. It gets not really fun to watch because it's just the same old. And I like when we see things that you don't normally see, because typically when people are when they're making their teams or when they're forming whatever, the usual is you stock the ladders, right? You see who's at the top, you stock, and you do exactly what they're doing. And I feel like that's great, but no fun. No fun.
Yeah, we just need to find a way to get NA to win, and then they can just win every time.
I don't know, man. The Dew might make it happen this year. Maybe.
He's got a really, really good team.
We were talking about that the other day. Like the two he's with right now. I don't know if they picked up the fourth yet, but I mean,
I don't think so.
Both of them are stellar, and Dew's good in his own right. I don't really particularly fancy Dew on his druid. I think he's better on his shaman and his monk, but I mean,
I think you'd probably rather play shaman. But then once again, you have to play comp sometimes.
Yeah, it's gonna be killer. I'm excited. I'm the throw step at the TV during the PvP time type of girl. So I get pretty.
Yeah.
I lost my voice at BlizzCon.
That's good. Need more fans like you. That's for sure.
I lost my voice at BlizzCon. My face was painted method colors. I went home crying.
It's tough.
It was
tough.
Yeah, it was awful. Ugh, it was such a bad day.
You're excited for the people who win for sure because they get to win BlizzCon. But no, you're allowed to have favorites. That's fine.
Well, and then you sit on the side. When they switch, you move to the side because that's what you're supposed to do. And then when people that are not on my side, or that are sitting on my side, but they're not rooting for my side, I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing over here? Like
IRL PvP going here.
You can't sit with us.
Yeah, can you go over to the other side because this is for the real fans. Yeah, it was good though. Just watching it live is a whole different experience. I always tell people, even if you don't go to BlizzCon, or if you've never been to BlizzCon, you think you won't find anything of value there for you. If you only go to watch these tournaments live, is a completely different experience when you're watching it live.
And if you're into WoW, that's awesome. Obviously, go watch the WoW stuff. But just any esport event is pretty nuts.
Yeah, it's like crazy. It's like actual, football sports.
Yeah,
it's like
people get real passionate about it, and feeling the energy actually in that environment is very, very special. So being part of that kind of event is awesome.
I agree. Pretty awesome. So, trying to decide which part I want to start with, because I feel like we're going to be at that part in the show, because I got to make sure I time keep and I want to respect Bajheera's time. I feel like we're at that part of the show where we got to get a little intimate. I don't want to make it weird, right? What would be the correct word?
Let's get physical.
That feels really weird.
Even weirder, actually.
Yeah, that feels... How do you know that, though? Sometimes, guys, I learn things about Rem that I never knew, and it happens in the natural organic show process, and it just makes me wonder what he keeps in the closet behind him. Okay.
I'll never know.
Now, you, as most people know, you're a man of many talents, right? This is the part where we get to gush about how awesome you are, right? We talk about how legendary you are, and we can't really see you blush because you have, you got the beard thing going on, so it kind of hides a little bit of the blushing. You're a man of many talents. You do a lot of things. I mean, a lot of things. And I'm not going to ask you the same questions everybody else asks you, how do you balance your life? How do you do all those things? I mean, you do them. People do them. It's not,
Right.
It's not rocket science.
Talk about that on stream every day. Swing by and we'll give you a little preview.
Exactly. Well, there's a couple things that I want to know, so I want to start with your gaming life.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know that PvP is what keeps you playing WoW, but what are some other elements that keep you playing WoW? Not even about your stream, not, just what are some other elements outside of PvP that keep you, I mean, you've been playing a really long time.
Yeah.
Well, Shaman's good for your comp, though, too, yeah? because
Walt.
No.
Oh, no.
No. Not
the
at all.
cringe, the better. Anyways, go on.
Shamans are not good for your comp. Just say no.
My comp?
No shamans.
Certain shamans can work.
Elemental?
Ellie is busted, yes.
Yeah, they're ridiculous. Their burst is insane. So tell me the elements.
Okay. I think that probably one of the main things about WoW is I don't want to be like cheesy, but the community factor of it, right? So I really enjoy being able to log into a game and have like, a little avatar of myself able to interact with all kinds of people from all over the world. And I think that WoW sets it up really easily to have certain kind of interactions where you go on adventures together and go accomplish the goals together, which is really, really cool, either in dungeons or you can group up together and do PvP. And I just think that the way it allows me to interact with my viewers is probably like the coolest way that I could imagine out of any game, because you can play a lot of different games with people, but having a character that kind of represents you playing alongside with people that are playing characters that represent them, it's just a different experience, right? And I like that a lot. I think that WoW offers that uniquely compared to other games.
Agreed. Free roam too. I think that.
Yeah,
that's a lot of fun too.
What's funny is I had the same answer, community, but you did a lot more better worded.
Because he is the professional. We are not the professionals.
Something like that.
So now your main focus is PvP, but what I want to know, tell me a guilty pleasure in World of Warcraft that people might not know about you. What is something that is just, maybe you do it every expansion, or maybe you do it on the sly, maybe you don't do it on stream. Like, what is something that no one else knows that's like a guilty pleasure?
I'm about to blow my own cover real hard. Is leveling low-level characters on like an RP PvP realm and ganking people leveling.
No, you would not. That's amazing.
Because there's no sharding on an RP server, right? So you go in like RP really hard, and you go to like where they're leveling, like in their zone, and go kill them. Well,
I wasn't expecting that. I have to recover.
I don't think I've ever told anybody that. So
that is I knew it was going to be good.
Yeah,
that is amazing. That is awesome.
Yeah. I don't do it too often, but it is a whole lot of fun. But I can't make any videos about it. And I can't stream it because I just get ganked, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes,
maybe someday I'll reveal like a bunch of like low-level world PvP clips or something like that. But usually just run around and kill people.
Oh, that's amazing. You should have like an alter ego on your YouTube channel and do like
Bajheera.
Yeah, Bajheera.
We've got a few of those. We've got a few alter egos on the YouTube channel.
Did you say Bajheera?
Bajheera.
Bajheera.
Yeah.
That is freaking amazing.
Of course, I can't name my characters anything close to my actual name either, right?
Yeah, that was actually
like Titty Numpkins.
We were talking about that the other day. Where
I was actually messing around on a character, and I named it like Bajheera X or something, and then I was like in Stranglethorn Vale, and somebody's like, "Oh, is that you, Bajheera?" And I was like pretending to be AFK, like hopefully they'd go away. And they're like, "That is you. I checked your achievements," and I was like, "Oh my god."
That's like people rifling through your trash.
Yeah, so that's when I was like, okay, we can't have anything close to Bajheera in my name, and this is good. The jig is up.
We talked about that. We talked about that because like that happens to me. Obviously, I'm nowhere on your level, but it happens to me. People do. That's why I changed my name, because Belle's not my original name. Belle is saying actually is my name, but people would come to the server looking for Belle, and she didn't exist. So I actually name changed for that purpose. But obviously, I don't get it on your level. But there are times when I'm trying to do stuff, and I do get bombarded and want to do stuff. So
gotta keep my RP name secret.
That's so funny. I like after show you're gonna have to tell me, just like I know you probably have outrageous names, RP names.
Are they actually within the lines of RP rules?
Yeah. They're nothing bad. They're just like like Bajheera is a pretty RP name. I just things like that.
That's amazing.
Cool.
Now we know what he does, guys, in his downtime.
Yeah, usually most of my gaming takes place on stream. If if I just finished my stream for the day and I'm editing a video and I'm waiting for it to render, sometimes I'll log in WoW and get a few levels, get a few HKs, just chilling.
I like the way you do business.
That's right.
So we talked about, like, we already know the warrior is your main. I know you don't play many others while you do. It's just kind of like...
Yeah, I don't play too serious.
But my question is...
Just duelist level, you know.
I don't find a lot of people that stick with the same main. It's actually pretty rare. Like, there's discussions all over the internet right now. What should I play for BFA? And I'm like, I'm glad I don't have to worry about that because I'm Destro till I die. No. I'm curious as to the reasoning why. Why warrior? Why has this been... Like, what is it? I know what it is for me. Mine's Chaos Bolts. But what is it for you that keeps you happy with your warrior? Even through nerfs.
Yeah, I get real mad at the nerfs. But I feel like it's in tune with kind of who I am. Like, I don't really think of myself, like, when I'm thinking about what makes me me. It's not like a lot of... You said I was a man of many talents, and I appreciate that. But I don't really consider myself to be, like, especially gifted in the field of, like, strength, or especially gifted in the field of, like, you know, not... And I did okay in school, but I don't think I'm like a genius or anything. But what I do think I have talent for is being able to put in a lot of time and effort and energy into something, and being willing to put in the work to make it successful. And I feel like with a warrior, like, you don't have any magic, right? There's nothing magical about you. You can't cast bolts at things. You can't throw yourself a magical heal of light. You have muscle, and you have metal, and you have your skills, and you have your weapons, and that's what makes you you. And so I like that there's not a reliance on magic. You have all your abilities are physical. I mean, maybe you have like this, now we have this artifact weapon that deals like shadow bleed damage, which is cool. But at your core, you're just you just have your skill set, you have whatever training you've done, you have your equipment that is crafted out of metal, even if it's enchanted or whatever, but you're just you. And I love that about warrior, and I think that kind of aligns well with me. There's nothing necessarily magical about me. I'm just willing to put in a lot of work, I feel like. And lucky.
I got real 10 out of 10.
No, he's 100% right. I feel like if I was magical, that I would be Belle. I feel like I in life walk the line between good and evil, right? Like, I feel like I have that dark side, and with being destruction, you're kind of dabbling with Fel and dark arts and stuff like that. So while I don't have the magic, I'm a little ornery sometimes. So I feel like the warlock just made sense to me. It always spoke to me. And I try
makes sense for me too. Shadow Priest. I have voices in my head, so it's all good.
my weapons talk to me too. It's, you know.
I would get freaked out. I don't know if I could have handled having something randomly whisper to me.
Nope. Just want the old sword and just call it good.
I feel like isn't Jen a priest?
Jen plays all kinds. I figured out what she is. She's a dot caster. She likes playing all the dot classes. She likes playing Boomkin, Fire Mage, Shadow Priest, Affliction Lock. She's like a dot caster.
She likes to just be damagey all the time. I like the burst.
Yeah. I feel you.
But I think I feel like I remember maybe Draenor. I think for your pre-maids, I feel like I remember her being a priest. I feel like I remember her healing for you, actually. Yeah.
She would heal because she's sweet, but I realized that healing me was like unnecessarily stressful for her. So I was like, you just kill people and have fun. Because
you're probably super selfish with your heals too, so I wouldn't want to be your healer.
I'm selfish, and I'm also a psychopath. Like the way I play BGs is like, if I see someone and they're not dead, they have to be dead, even if they're all the way across the map. And so I'm just running in random directions, and somebody's trying to heal me, and I'm triple heroic leaping across the map. And it's like, what?
Next thing you know, you're sleeping on the couch because she's had enough of your shit.
Right. She's like, where are you going? Peel from me. And I'm like, I gotta kill this guy. Like, I'm healing by killing people. Follow me. I got you. And so,
worst wingman ever.
Not worth it to have her be stressed. So I just say, just play whatever you want. If you want to sit in the back and dot people up, light them up, I got you. And that's fine.
That's hilarious. I wouldn't want to heal you either, to be perfectly. I'm not a healer though. I wasn't built like I heal for raid, a side raid, but.
Yeah, I have some very kind, patient souls who heal me in Battlegrounds, especially recently. Like I mentioned it, Death Wish Fury recently has been... I played it before, and it's my favorite thing to do BGs as, but I am literally the squishiest thing that is possible in the video game. Not only do I take 30% extra damage just by being a Fury Warrior and being enraged, I actually deal damage to myself constantly. Like, Death Wish takes 10% of your HP to give you a 5% damage buff, and that's on like a 10-second cooldown. So every 10 seconds, I'm taking 10% of my own HP while getting focused by the entire BG because it's me, and taking 30% extra damage. So
that's a little sadist.
And I'm also triple heroic leaping all around the map. It is Sadist, but the reason why I play it is because you do an absurd amount of damage. Like you are the most squishy, but you're extremely high mobility, and it harkens back to in Kata, like when I first started playing, where if you had gear, you charge somebody, pop your cooldowns, you one shot them, like you'll kill them in a second, and that's what Deathwish Fury feels like. But you do it to like a crowd of people. So
you just have to basically just be quicker, because if they get a hit, you're dead.
Right, so like, so a lot of like, good BGs in Legion, it's like, okay, you got 20 killing blows, like great, that's fun. But Fury puts up like 30, 40 every BG, so it makes me happy. And you do like, upwards of almost 300 million damage in a battleground, so it's really fun.
So do you feel like you want to carry Destruction, Warlock?
Now, I will say this, with Deathwish Fury, I also go a 3 healer plus a damage buff, so I don't know if you have any damage buffs for me. But,
I can't offer you much, but I am a stellar Chaos Bolter and a massive
luck cookies.
I've made people rage.
Your first KB steal, you're out of there, all right?
Oh, I will kill. I'll steal all your kills. However, I do make people rage at my fears. I've had people send me in-game mail pissed off about my fears. It's my job, guys.
I didn't whisper you. They mailed you?
Yeah, they sent me an in-game mail.
Must have been a tank.
They rolled a level 1 on my server because I'm on an RP server, although I don't RP.
Feared them?
Yeah, because I fear them. How dare I kept them in a fear? First of all, there's DR people. DR's a thing, so calm down.
They use their abilities.
Yeah. Oh, that guy was mad. And I did it just because it was funny, because he was getting pissed off and I could tell he was getting mad. Every time he tried to come at me, there's those guys, and you're probably one of those guys now that I think about it. The guy that doesn't like you in a battleground, and no matter when you respawn or where he respawns, he always finds you, right?
Oh, if you die fast the first time I kill you, you are going to be put in the dirt like at least 12 times.
Yeah. So he did this, and I just thought, okay, fine. You're going to keep coming at me. I'm just going to keep fearing you because it's just funny to me. So then it turned into he stopped doing that because he realized he didn't want to be feared all the time. So then I might have went and found him. And
you sought him out and feared him.
Yeah, I would just like hide in a bush or something. Because, in randos anyway, people fight on roads. They don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Eventually people figure out that they're going to have a hard time killing me. So they just start CCing me. And that's really annoying. So I feel you.
Oh, stuns. Oh my God.
They'll start cloning me and stuff. It's like, come on, bro. Now I'm going to have to kill you.
You're muted, by the way.
Let me see if I can fix it.
Belle, I can't hear you.
Of course, because I muted. Why? Because that's what you do. You mute. Oh, now he's muted. What happened? Now he's muted. I think it was me the whole time.
It was you.
Was it just me?
Yeah.
Now he's muted.
I don't know if he was messing with us or if he thought he was muted, but either way.
I
did think I was muted. Now
that's
we're buzzing.
my fault. So
you scared me.
I'm a blonde at heart, and
is my mic working now?
Yeah,
no,
I mute.
You were good. It was her.
The amount of times he has to tell me to unmute, and sometimes I get pretty well into what I'm saying before he tells me.
Well, my mic does mess up sometimes, so I was freaking out. My cats like walk over it. I'm like, crap.
That's amazing. Okay, guys. I want to do a little throwback Thursday since it's Thursday. Now, a lot of people can say that they know Bajheera's beginnings, right? I feel like it's important to know your origin story. I think every superhero has an origin story, and it's nice for you to have that. And
it is.
Defines you and makes you who you are. So I have a nice little tidbit clip. It's about a 1-minute clip that I pulled off. I stole, actually. I don't know if that's legal, but I am letting you know that I stole it off.
You'll be hearing from my people shortly.
I know. I'm going to get an email for copyright infringement.
We're going to need a cease and desist.
I'm going to send you an in-game mail.
I didn't sign any NDAs. So, but I did pull your very first video. This was in November of 2010. You actually hadn't begun playing retail yet. I think you were doing private servers.
This was my first video on YouTube of the journey on live. Yeah.
Now, after we play this clip, I have really good things to ask you, but I just want to appreciate this clip because I feel like it was like you knew the future. And those of you that watch, you're going to know what I mean. So let me go ahead and throw that sucker on there.
So here we are. I don't think I've actually introduced myself. So I'm Bajheera. A little bit about me. I started playing WoW on a Burning Crusade private server.
I gotta hear this too.
I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of good experiences. I had an awesome guild, and I leveled and geared a warrior. Yeah, look at that damage. It's so nice. I leveled and geared a warrior. Then I started a rest surge, but not a rest surge, a feral druid, because I'm a melee DPS kind of guy. My focus is definitely on PvP.
Nice.
And that's what I would like to feature mostly in this channel, is PvP. However, right now, I am, you know, leveling a character, but I didn't really want to wait to make videos until this character is like, you know, 85 and geared, because I'm really excited about making YouTube videos. People like Dante, especially, have really inspired me to start making videos and be part of this sort of WoW community that's building up.
Listen, I'm gonna wait for you guys to catch up.
That's so cute.
So, we talked about this already before, where I asked, which your answer is very different than mine. I see the older stuff that we've done for the show or as we've evolved, and I just absolutely cringe at my abilities and learning how to podcast and learning how to produce quality things and all of that. But you embrace them.
Yeah, I think that video, I think what I said before was I'm just so proud of that little guy. And it's weird that I do have like the separation. Like sometimes, like, you know, that is me, but I'm like, kid, you did such a good job listening to your creative pathway, whatever that was, believing in that and starting it up, even though, like he said, and he's like, I don't want to wait till I'm 85 leveled up and fully geared. I'm going to have this be my journey. And I was like, good job, buddy. So no, I mean, like, definitely, like, I was recording that on like my 08 MacBook laptop. It's like probably like 240p, probably, like just doing stream of consciousness commentary. But that's exactly what I needed to do, and it in one way or another led me here, and I couldn't be more grateful to the young fella for doing it, man.
The cojones, right? To just get out there and do it, because doing stuff on the internet, guys, is not easy. This is scary stuff. Doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. It's scary stuff. You put a lot of yourself out there, and sometimes weird shit comes back to you in your DMs. But like, it's a scary thing, and I'm pretty, I don't know. I feel like what I really want to know, if you could go back in time, current Bajheera would give this video clip Bajheera any advice, what would the one piece of advice you would give to him be?
Just keep doing your thing, man. Keep trusting yourself. Keep believing in what you're doing. You know, stay true to your narrative. It's like, that's one of the things that my dad just repeated to me. Like, what is your narrative? Like, what is the story that you want to tell with your own time and your own efforts? Who do you want to be, right? And so I just keep trusting yourself. You're on the right track. Like, and I feel like there's that sort of weird cosmic looping that occurs where I still feel that. Like, I still feel that from myself. Like, keep doing the thing, man. Keep stay on the right path. Keep believing in yourself, and things will hopefully continue to go well. And if things are not going well, at least you're still in a position that you can, you know, make things better for yourself or your family or whatever, that if need be. At least you're still doing the right thing, even if it doesn't always feel like, even if it can be scary or daunting at some points. Have confidence in what you're doing and know that you're doing the right thing. That's what I would say.
If only you were a fortune teller, because I feel like, because you were pretty, you guys will have to go to his channel and check out that video, because I watched the whole thing, and it wasn't the first time I've watched it, but I was like giggling when I was watching.
Yeah. And
my husband's like, what are you laughing at? And I'm like, you don't understand. Like, he basically predicted his future. I don't even know if he even realized that he...
No, not at the time. Definitely did not think that I'd be able to do it for a living. I knew that people did do it for a living, and I thought that'd be awesome. But I just thought it'd be fun to start making videos and start sharing my journey. I think the idea was that other people I had watched at the time, it either got me inspired, or if I was stressed out, I would have a moment to just sort of relax and breathe and enjoy, you know, somebody else playing a video game and just talking about whatever they've got going on. And that was cool. And I thought if I could create that experience for somebody else, that would be worth it. But the fact that I get to do this now for a living, and it's something that I get to have a positive impact on people, or so I hear, that's amazing.
How do you...
on that,
go ahead.
sorry, on that positive feedback thing you're talking about, that is one thing I have to say about you as someone that's in the community, is you are definitely seen as like a positive image in the WoW community. It's actually pretty cool to see that.
That's wild.
Well, role model, really, and I don't really like to use that word because I feel like people that are role models, either they don't know they're role models or they don't understand the responsibility, right? With great power comes great responsibility, and I think people don't understand the responsibility that they have, especially when it comes to being in an industry where the younger generation is kind of, you know, they're the up-and-comers, and it's kind of our job to usher them into this community in a non-toxic way and to keep it about what it should be about. But it's interesting to me because you have I say Pied Piper because I don't know what else to call it, because it is a little bit it rubs off on people, and you're positive. Your wife is amazing. I absolutely love your wife. What I love about her is she's classy all the time, and that's so rare in this world, and you know what I'm talking about. That is super rare to have that, and she is classy all the time. But I love that you guys are like the mom and dad couple, right? Like that's that's mom and dad. They're positive. They have like, well, I'm sure they have their own ups and downs, and like everything's not always great, but you're pretty positive in the community itself, which I think is important because your word matters to people. How much does your word matter to people? I'm going to tell you how much your word matters to people. Before you, I was strictly Steel Series. Nobody could tell me anything about peripherals whatsoever until you know, it was always Steel Series. Then one day, I watched you do a video on one of the keyboards. I don't remember what it was for. I said to myself, I mean, he doesn't really put his name on much, so if he's saying it's good, I'm going to go check it out. Right. Bought my first Corsair keyboard.
Nice.
Bought my mouse.
Nice.
Obsessed. We're a house divided. My husband's Razer. I actually hate Razer, but whatever.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So, me and Rem have this conversation. He's Logitech.
I used to be one, yeah.
What are you now, Rem?
I have some Corsair peripherals, yeah.
Quality decision.
It really was a good decision. Not for nothing, though. Like, honestly, sponsors out of the way, like, it really was the best decision ever. I am frustrated that they don't have a gamepad because I'm forced to use Razer's crap, and I'm not really excited about that.
Yeah, I've never been a big fan of the gamepad. Maybe if I was a bigger fan of it, they'd make one. Well, no.
I need you to be a bigger fan because it bothers me that I have Razer stuff on my desk. I like, for me, it's the gamepad is just, I just really like it, especially for movement, because I'm a little bit movement retarded when it comes to trying to multitask. But I have to use Razer's stuff, and I tweet to Corsair like once a month, like, hey, what about that gamepad?
Yeah,
what about the gamepad?
When they first wanted to work together, I was like, guys, like, I love the products that I've tried, but you have to have an MMO mouse. And a little while later, they said, hey, we got something that we want you to look at. And so, thus, the Scimitar was born. Yes, indeed. So, yeah, I take the respect, and I take the fact that people listen to what I have to say and trust me very seriously. So, you know, in the things that the way I try to conduct myself, and the way that I, you know, recommend in this situation, like products and stuff, I take that very seriously. So, but one of the cool things is, in terms of how I conduct myself, is I think that Jenny and I have been given an opportunity to do something that not a lot of people get to do, which is really just be themselves. And, and I think that what's cool is that I think by me being myself and being in an environment where I encourage others to do the same, we end up becoming a community where people feel very, very comfortable being themselves, and allows them to sort of have that that inner positivity that comes out of confidence and being comfortable with who you are, that lets that develop. And the fact that that can happen like from like an online broadcast or like a YouTube video is nuts. But this is going to get kind of back in time here. But I remember a very important conversation I had with my dad, and this might end up sounding weirder than I want it to be. But I told him that I didn't really know exactly what it is that I wanted to do when I grew up, like job wise, but I had like this vision of like kind of like the night sky, right? Where you have little lights in the sky. And I think that what I wanted to do was find a way to connect lights together so it had more light than darkness, or at least try to make a little bit of a push in that darkness. And I think in a strange way, we've sort of been able to do that with what we do online, which is really, really neat. Oddly
enough, I actually understood that analogy.
Yeah.
Perfect sense.
I remember that conversation. We used to go to the gym together every night, and I'd go and get my workout in and have all my endorphins flowing and just tell them what was on my mind. And that was a particular conversation that stuck.
And I know your dad's a lot of the reason, you know, fitness is your life, because from a very young age, like
my dad and Goku,
yeah,
that's right.
He had you in there doing things, and it's easy to make habits, especially when you start at a young age. That just becomes a lifetime habit. But what I really want to know is, do you eat tacos, or is that not allowed?
I mean, I'm allowed to eat tacos. It's just not my preferred food. I think they're crunchy. They get everywhere. I'd rather.
Oh, no. Okay, so because you're in SoCal now, yeah?
Right.
I can give you locations where you can get legitimate tacos, not just crunchy tacos.
Okay.
Good tacos. Good
I
food.
haven't had the right tacos.
Listen, I'm recovering a little bit right now because that hurt my feelings like super bad.
Listen here. My food preference does not have to reflect on you in any way.
You don't understand. Tacos are life.
At worst, if I didn't like tacos, this applies to bacon. We have a bacon logic video that I had to make one year. It just means if I'm not into tacos, it just means more tacos for you.
Well, that's valid. I could eat.
Can't argue with that.
I could put away. But you like a lot of sushi, which I also love.
Yeah.
So
I like food just fine. I just have to. What is helpful, and one of the things that I talk about every day on the stream is it's in terms of like your nutrition. Like obviously getting healthy food is important, but in terms of like we usually talk about either losing fat or gaining muscle, right? But in order to maintain those sorts of things, it's really about the numbers. So if you want to fit some tacos into your diet, you can do that. It's just important that you know how many, calories divided into carbs, protein, fat there are, macronutrients, right? Macros, not like slash cast charge slash cast hamstring, but it's macronutrients that's important. So you can fit tacos into your macros if you want to. I just don't usually tend to do that because I usually just eat the same thing every day because it's easy.
What is your closet eating food? And when I say closet eating, guys, we all have those moments where you're in the pantry and the door is shut and nobody's watching.
If I'm having one of those days, then I will go get myself some chocolate granola and some chocolate milk and go to town.
Not as sinful as I thought it was going to be. I was kind of hoping you were going to be like, I eat a whole box of Hostess Twinkies and like
I'll eat the whole box of whatever. I mean, I'll eat the whole box of cereal for sure. But I've been doing that for a long time. But it's also a lot of sugar. You get like little sugar hangovers after.
Does your wife, is she pretty healthy too?
Yeah, she eats a different diet than I do. She requires a little more variety. I don't care. I just eat chicken and rice every day.
That's how I could eat the same thing every day for the rest of my life and I'd be fine.
Do you abstain from red meat?
You're ready to make yourself some gains. Not like by rule. It's just I don't eat as much of it. It's a lot easier to bake like pans of chicken than it is to cook up a bunch of red meat.
I think Sko does this. He does the meal prep too with the chicken, and he does like he does whole rotisseries, right? He does the little.
Oh yeah, those are good too.
He just roasts like 30 of them at a time, and I'm just like.
Yeah, it's just mostly a convenience factor. Like what allows me to get my nutrition that I need in most easily, basically.
So talk to me about this Games and Gains.
Yeah.
Because it's started with one tweet I saw, and then all of a sudden, it wasn't just you tweeting it. It was like it had become this thing.
That's neat.
Before I even realized like it was this huge thing.
That's true. I actually see people using the hashtag Games and Gains who don't follow me. So they may have just encountered that and be like, oh, I like that.
Yeah, I'm going to steal that from the guy who had basically invented it and not give him credit.
As long as they're not trying to market it, then
right.
As long as I'm not trying to sell shirts that say Games and Gains on it, but whatever.
So tell me, I mean, we pretty much know the origin, or rather what it means, right? You're balancing, which life is balance. And what's interesting to me about the Games and Gains is those things are typically not synonymous in our world. In the world of nerds, we're quite lazy. And I'm going to be real, guys. I'm lazy myself. So those are two things that typically, I think before you, they just didn't go together, and you've made it where they're completely intertwined. And I want to know, like, just tell people about it, because I feel like people want to get involved.
So here's the fun thing, is that there actually is a lot of crossover, and that's one of the things that I've found, is that playing video games and being active for me have always those just two interests that I happen to have. And there is the thought that gamers are sedentary, because I mean, you're sitting there, you're not always active when you're playing video games, but there's like the gamers who don't do anything except play video games, sedentary, unhealthy. This is like the stereotype, right? And then there's like the athlete, the jock, thinks everybody who doesn't play sports is nerds, douche, you know, etc. Right? But those things do exist. But what's interesting is there is a huge contingent of crossover there. I don't mind being an example of this, but I assure you that I'm not the only one. And by doing, you know, by involving games into the games content, it's allowed people who are only into video games or previously only into video games to be like, oh, you know what? If this guy who's like as big of a nerd as it gets is into the games, then maybe I'll get involved. Sounds cool. We'll give it a try. They might be a little more healthy. They might be able to gain some discipline, which helps structure them being able to do other things they're passionate about, make improvements in their life, whatever. That's really, really cool. It also allows people who are maybe only into fitness to be like, okay, so this guy who, you know, lifts weights and competes in physique and whatever, also actually his main job is playing video games for a living. Like, what? I mean, like this guy's obviously a huge nerd, but he's also kind of part of my group, which is the fitness thing. I mean, okay, maybe all gamers aren't just skinny, unathletic nerd people or overweight or whatever else, unhealthy. You know, that's cool. But at the middle of it all, what ends up happening is the people are united by either one or both of these things, and the sort of the intersecting part of this Venn diagram is actually much bigger than people think, and it allows there to be a lot more crossover between the two groups than previously existed. And I think that's really, really neat. That's just kind of part of my thing. So I don't tend to deal with the stereotypes as much in terms of the way I think about my audience and my community. There may be people who are very much, you know, not taking care of themselves, but they want to be. And that it's really cool that I can be a bridge for them to say, hey, you know, I feel you. I'm a gamer, but you definitely can find time in your day to get some exercise. And it's actually a lot easier than you think to accomplish, you know, your food changes that need to happen in order for you to slim down or gain weight or whatever your goal may be. And for the fitness people, it's like, you probably already play video games, dude. You don't have to act like you've never played a video game in your life. And it's cool. You can hang out here. Everybody's fine. You don't have to, you know, be, you know, exerting your personality on anybody in a hostile way. But if people decide that they want to do that, then they're not really a good fit for the community and they get timed out or banned or whatever. But games and gains have always gone together for me in a very natural way. And I think what's really fun about the way that we've been interacting with gaming and the gym stuff and the content is that they actually go together a lot easier than people tend to think. And the people on opposite ends of the spectrum, you know, are able to be brought closer to the center and interact with each other in a lot better ways than people tend to think.
Oh, yeah.
I completely agree with that. I think the balance is needed.
Last year, Belle and I went through it.
Yeah.
Getting older's hard, okay? Getting older's hard, but the reason I enjoy that and I love that it was brought, and you're right, it isn't just you. There's lots of active gamers that are involved in you know, their own way. I know Zaru, he's like super gym. Like a lot of these guys are super into the gym, and girls for that matter. But people like Zaru, you know, only a couple. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but a couple of years ago he wasn't. No, he was not at all. You're absolutely.
But he has begun, and in a short time has made a lot of progress, and that's something that anybody can do.
Agreed. And awesome. When he works, every morning, like, he posts on his story that he's having his coffee, doing his thing, and then he's going. But for me, those kinds of reinforcements are needed. I started working from home maybe, 5 years ago. I'm a web developer, so I don't have to go into work, which is nice. You can work in your underwear, whatever. But along with that comes a certain level of lazy. And then when I say lazy, I'm not a lazy person, but physically lazy, right? Not doing your normal, you get up and you do things. I lost 40-something pounds after I had my last son. I juiced, gymmed, the whole nine. Not the weird juice that makes you crazy. You know what I mean. Then I allowed myself to get back into that. I was really focused on Pwnecast. I was focused on growing the YouTube channel. I was focusing on all those things that kept me here, just sitting. Go to BlizzCon last year and just said, I'm done. I don't want to be this version of myself anymore. I'm vain, and with that vanity means that I need certain things for my life to be okay. But I also realize I'm unhealthy in that same right. But I don't really diet. I'm healthy. I eat healthy foods. I make smarter choices. I have a small taco habit.
That's fine. Like I said, fit in your macros.
Small taco habit. But I gave up things like my energy drinks. I gave up a lot of things while still maintaining things that make me happy, my brownies, whatever. But the habit of getting and going to the gym every day I found was the hardest to get. I don't know why for me it was the most difficult. Once I was in the habit, it was easy. But it was making that become my habit and putting that part of my daily routine. I had to push myself. Like,
yep. Big word there is discipline.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So people ask me all the time, like, oh man, like I'd like to start going to the gym. I just lose motivation, you know? Or, you know, I did really well on my diet for like a week and then I just lost motivation. Like, how do you stay motivated? And it's like, well, first of all, you know, motivation is nice. Like setting goals for yourself and whatnot can help you stay motivated. But there's going to be plenty of days where you don't feel like it. You don't feel like making your food. You don't feel like eating certain kinds of food. You don't feel like going to the gym, but that's irrelevant. I mean, if you have a goal and you decide that you're going to make it happen, the decision is made and then you just have to step up and get the job done. And that's what discipline is, right? It's doing what is required to accomplish your goal, even if you don't feel like it. So, and that's where it's important is if I feel like I'm relatively well able to equip people with the basic tools that they need to accomplish what they want with their diet or their fitness, at least get them started, right? I do encourage people to take a genuine interest in what they're doing and get after it on their own, you know, do research on what do you want to do with your training or whatever. But once you have those basic things in place, once you know what you're supposed to do, it's not a matter of whether you feel like it, whether you do it. It's just a matter of whether you're willing to step up to the plate and do it. You have to have some discipline, right?
Agreed. And you can't search for motivation from others because while people can help pump you up and, you know, like it helps get people going and in that mood, but you can't text all of your community every day, hey, quit being lazy and get your ass to the gym. Like people just you have to do it.
I'm going to the gym. I'll see you there if your buddy doesn't show up.
Yeah.
You're training anyway.
What I did find in my going to the gym, which is really weird for me to even say, when I started saying it out loud, like it was a pretty laughable joke among me and my friends where people were like, wait, you're actually at the gym? Yeah, taking pictures on Snapchat just to prove that I'm actually there. But what I found is that it helped me in other areas as far as my putting things off or feeling like I wanted to revamp something but just didn't have the drive to do it. But because I had gotten up and gotten out and done my thing, it kind of bled over into the other areas, which I really enjoyed.
And that's one of the things I like so much about having the discipline with your diet and your training is it gives you momentum. And there's two things. One, it gives you momentum in terms of like you've strung together some positive action. You may as well keep doing the good things for the rest of the day and then continue the next day. But it also it's practice. It's practice for when something arises, are you capable of activating yourself and getting the job done? And even if I like to call the gym like a safe environment for like, you know, life and death testing, right? So like if you watch my gym stream, I'm like yelling my head off and all this. I'm getting pretty intense about it because I take it seriously and I'm having fun. But it's also like, you know, for example, if I want to get up on stage at BlizzCon and host the World of Warcraft Arena World Championships, that's going to take some effort. That's going to take some being focused mentally. It's going to be taking some being there physically, being able to do what I need to do, project myself and project my personality and be excited to be there and whatnot. The excitement comes naturally, but still, it takes a lot to do that. And what's fun is that the gym, in a lot of ways, can mimic those opportunities where this is important, this needs to be done, and having the practice every day at the gym, being able to step up and get whatever task needs to be done accomplished and well with intensity and focus and energy and excitement, like you're setting yourself up with the pattern of being able to do something well, even if it's lifting weights, which is separate from whatever it is else that you want to do. You're practicing being good at something. You're practicing getting something done and doing it well. And I think that's like extremely valuable. So lifting weights is obviously good for you lifting weights or doing whatever you want to do with your fitness is obviously good for you from a physical perspective, but the benefits are so much more wide ranging than just your physical health and your mental health from feeling better. It actually teaches you how to do something well if you let it.
I like angry gymming too. I have an angry personality by nature because I'm Italian and Irish. I didn't pick my lineage.
Taking negative energy and turning it into a positive result for sure.
I love angry gymming. It's my favorite. I feel so much better after. I mean, I still want to punch people with the same level of intensity, but I am able to at least control the urge to where I just don't randomly go burning people's houses down.
It's far for the best.
I I don't really burn people's houses down, guys. I feel like you don't believe me when I say that. I want one day to arm wrestle you.
Me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm retired.
I just one time.
I'm undefeated at BlizzCon. I went out on top. I'm retired.
I want to arm wrestle you one time. I don't even know. Like, I'd probably break my arm. Honestly.
That's no joke. That's one of the reasons I retired from arm wrestling. Is he injured himself doing that.
I remember that.
Not doing it anymore.
And he's pretty buff himself, which is interesting when the two beards collide, right?
The stronger you are, you're going to be able to put a lot more torque on your arm. And I mean, not saying he did anything wrong, but like arm wrestling does have some technique. And if you apply like power without technique, I mean, things get snapped up. I will tell a funny story about arm wrestling at BlizzCon. Is that the last time I was arm wrestling at BlizzCon, I arm wrestled Swifty and I beat him. And then he brings me this huge dude. And he's like, bro, you gotta arm wrestle this guy. I beat him easily. I want to see you beat him. And I'm like, okay.
That sounds like a trap.
Yeah. So I arm wrestled that guy, and I beat him too. But Swifty was trying to debate me into getting beaten by this other guy. This little rascal.
What a dick!
I love him so much. That was just really funny. That was my final go out on top arm wrestling moment right there.
How often do people ask you to arm wrestle?
Often.
Do you feel like you're recognized more for the size of your arms versus your skill in PvP?
I think it's the beard. People say, dude, this guy looks just like you, bro. And it looks nothing like me that just happens to have a beard. Like, that's just... Dude.
Stop being a
literal spitting image.
Because everybody with a beard looks alike.
Yeah.
I died on Twitter. I'm going to say this. I died on Twitter. Somebody tweeted to Scott Johnson and said, "Are you the one that runs Methods Guild?" And
oh no.
I laughed hysterically because Scott Johnson has a beard, but it's not the same beard as Scott has a beard also.
Right.
I was hysterically, like, immaturely laughing. I shouldn't have laughed at that misfortune of that poor soul who did not know the difference in the two Scotts.
It was in the comfort of your own home.
Oh, God, it was so fun. I DM'd and said, I'm going to hell, Scott. I apologize. I couldn't help but laugh at that because he got the two Scotts mixed up, and the beards don't even look the same. Like, one is white and one is not white. But
it doesn't matter. I assure you.
I'm going to try to work. I keep saying I'm going to work on my beard because I feel like I just need to be competitive. Like, I need a competitive edge.
You just need, once again, it's discipline.
Yeah,
all right?
You got a head start right here.
Right. You don't see... Listen, I know a guy that like that. Mind business. I feel like if I could grow a beard, I would really have something special on the internet. Like...
I think the beard is definitely something special, and I wish you a lot of luck and positivity your way in terms of developing the beard that you want.
Man, I want like a Gandalf beard.
Mm-hmm. That'll take time. It'll take time, and it'll take a lot of meditation of the beard.
How much food do you get stuck in your beard while you're gaming?
Not a single.
Oh, you
bit.
lie! Not even a grain of rice.
Check the VOD.
Not a single grain of rice.
Not once.
I get food and I don't have a beard.
Like, that's your problem. You don't have a beard.
Like I
got no respect for your face. Taco juice all over it.
That is amazing. Not one grain, huh? You're like...
Check the VOD.
You're like the Jedi. Jedi Master. Okay. So you're married now.
I am.
Which is awesome. I know your guys' story. Your story is one of my favorites. I made my husband listen to your story like 40 times. And then you recently did, I think it was, you were doing a podcast with two others.
Yeah.
Two other very large gentlemen. Well, one was another very large gentleman.
He's a big boy.
But I like your story there because I remember, like, even way back, I remember the origin story of Jen and Bajheera before.
Yeah.
Like, now everybody knows it, but I remember, like, as it was going on, which was pretty cool.
Yeah,
so you've had a lot of firsts. You're married. You guys have a beautiful home. Now you just got a car.
Stupid lucky, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, you work really hard for it. I don't want to definitely don't want to say that it's luck. I mean, you put in, you stream more than anybody else I've ever seen on the internet ever. Like,
yeah, I like what I do, and I'm grateful to be able to put so much time into. That's for sure.
Yeah, you put in some hard work, but in the beginning, did you find, because like when marriage is new, everything is awesome, it's like super wonderful, but did you find that there was a tough new balance with trying to balance making sure you spent the appropriate time? Like, I don't know do you have chill? Do you know how to stop yourself from overdoing this stuff so that you can make sure that you spend time, you know, cultivating that relationship?
Yeah, balance, and we talked about this, like, or we alluded to it. Balance is always one of those things that I strive to be better at. You know, I always want to be anything that I'm doing, that I'm investing my time and my efforts into, I want to get better at. So, for example, like, you know, obviously, I want to continue to be a better streamer because I spend a lot of time doing that. I want to have a better content for my people. I want to, with bodybuilding, like I spend a lot of time training because I enjoy it. But I also want to be better at it. So I decided that I want to do some competition and stuff. The same sort of thing applies to my relationship. I always want to be a better partner. I always want to be a better husband. I always want to find ways of being more helpful to her, because I do a lot of the stuff on camera, and she absolutely carries the squad in nearly every other aspect of this. So I want to be helpful. I want to take some things off of her plate and make what she's doing either easier, or make sure that she has more time to do things that are fulfilling to her. That matters to me a lot. So that's one of those things. And I think that fortunately for us, I'm definitely going to be gushing a little bit, but I mean, I knew she was my girl, like, very, very early on. Like, so our relationship, I feel like we've been like married for like a while, right? We've been like super committed.
It's official.
Yeah, we've been super committed to each other for a very long time. We have been in the interest of developing ourselves and our relationship and each other for a very long time. So I feel like us getting married was just a chance for us to celebrate our relationship and our commitment to each other with our friends and family. So in that sense, it wasn't like we got married and there's like a big change. But I will definitely say that my attitude towards her is like, it just like my heart just continues to grow for her, and I always want to do more for her and be a better husband to her. And so yes, definitely, I think that finding ways of spending my time to be loyal to my audience, to be true to myself, is definitely a big aspect of all this, because I do think that I tend to be a more selfish person than she is. I think that she would run herself ragged for other people, and I'm always like, well, you know, I got to make sure I go to the gym. I got to make sure I get my work done. I mean, this is important to me. But I think one of the developments that I'm experiencing now, especially as we move into the future, is finding I got to practice being a little bit more like her in her selflessness. I have to make sure that I'm saying, well, I mean, I could just chill here at the end of my day and watch Twitch, or I could get up and make sure the dishes are moved along, make sure I'm cleaning up the house a little bit, just to make it a little bit more efficient use of my time, not only just to get stuff done, but also because I know that that's going to make her happy, and it's going to take stuff off of her plate, and it's going to give her more time to do things that are important to her. But yeah, I think time management and making sure that I manage my energy and my time to be more helpful to her is kind of one of the big things that I'm working on now.
You guys are so super nice. I wonder what it's like to fight in your house, because I can tell you what, my husband is pretty much like your wife. He's the opposite of me. I'm very loud and animated, and you know, I'm very I call it passionate. He calls it overdramatic. Potato, whatever. But
don't call it that, dude.
he's very much like, he brings me down. He's my support. He does all the things that I don't consider when I'm manic and trying to make sure things are, you know, he thinks of things, and he's like he's my guy. He does all the things, especially when it's not forefront in my brain, and he does it without complaint. And he sees I do this weird thing on the internet, and he supports me and pushes me, and doesn't, you know, he doesn't tell me, I don't see why you're doing that, because I have a full-time job in addition to this stuff. He never complains, does all of those things, but we fight. Like, you guys are really nice. So I'd be curious to see the fight. Like, we fight.
You're probably not going to believe me. We really don't fight.
Oh no, we fight.
Because I don't fight. That's what it is.
My husband doesn't fight, but I do.
Yeah,
Some days I want to fight. I want to argue because you didn't take out the trash, and I want to yell at you for 5 minutes because you didn't.
I'm not going to put Jenny on blast, but sometimes she's got to be very direct and clear about what she's feeling, and sometimes that takes an emotional, you know, expression.
Yeah.
But I am not going to fight her. That's not how I do it. I'm going to say, okay, how can I make this better?
Yeah, my husband doesn't fight me either. It makes me really sad.
I take pride in that, about our relationship, is that we are able to communicate, even if that communication is sometimes emotional and passionate. We can still come out of that without any sort of like I don't know, sometimes people get upset at each other and they start saying mean things.
Yeah, it gets to the point where it's not
they
really.
don't mean. And
Yeah, it's not a disagreement at this point. It's personal hurt and feelings.
That is something that we don't do, and that's something that I definitely would like to keep as a part of our relationship. Is to you can definitely feel very passionately about something, and if you need to tell me something that's not going to necessarily make me happy, it might even hurt my feelings. Like, is the fact like I'm not doing something well enough. That's not something that people like to hear,
right.
But it's something I need to hear in order for me to be better, and that's fine. I'm cool with our relationship being like that because I want to be better, and if she's got to tell me that, even if she doesn't like it, then that's got to happen.
We don't really have real fights either. We don't have much to fight about. We have a pretty. I mean, he puts up with my shit, which is, I mean, you're already doing really well because you put up with my crazy.
I'm a handful, that's for damn sure.
We don't have much to fight about, and even when I try to fight with him, he's not about that life. He just smiles at me. He laughs and walks out of the room. I'm screaming like a nutcase over something super dumb, and he just smiles and walks out of the room, and he's like, just talk to me when you're normal. Then I go downstairs and I'm like, well, I'm never going to be normal, but I apologize for doing whatever thing I just did.
That's a brave man. That approach right there. I gotta get on that.
Yeah, he really does. He just smiles. Rem's been there. He's seen my husband. He's an expert. He's an expert bell handler. He's learned. Oh, he's in the chat saying he does. So
that's funny.
I feel like it's time for the gauntlet. Now we haven't done the gauntlet in a while, but I refreshed the questions. So the gauntlet is about 60 seconds.
Okay.
I'm gonna rapid fire questions at you. World of Warcraft related.
All right,
and
I'm about to make you real disappointed if this is lore stuff. Sorry, buddy. Just before we get started.
Some of it is, but I feel like some of these questions maybe you should. Oh, you're gonna get. This is gonna be all bad.
Bring it.
You might surprise us. I'm gonna say that you're gonna surprise us.
Okay.
All right. Let me get the gauntlet music, which you'll have to listen to the stream.
Is this the one that yeah, it is. Okay.
Well, I took some of yours. Like I merged. I didn't make it Bajheera friendly at all. Oh, this is gonna be good.
Let's see what we got.
All right, let's find the music.
I think you'll do fine.
So you have 60 seconds, and we'll have Rem time as soon as we start. Well, it doesn't matter. The audio is exactly 60 seconds. All right, let's get this started. This is going to be funny. I'm actually kind of excited. All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. How many primary dragon flights are there?
3.
Who created the demon soul?
Me.
Why was Illidan originally imprisoned?
For being naughty. What did he do? He probably, I don't know, betrayed. Didn't Malfurion had to put him away? He's getting a little too rowdy.
Kind of like that.
What race is Li Shen from Throne of Thunder?
Panda.
What staff did Medivh wield and other players could obtain in Karazhan during the Raid and Burning Crusade?
It wasn't that one with the tentacles, was it?
No.
Tentacle staff. It's the tentacle staff. That's my final answer.
My favorite one. Name 4 of the 6 Shas.
Anger, fear, disappointment, and exhilaration.
Okay, your time is up, but I can't handle that. The Sha of Disappointment. I'm gonna tweet to Blizzard the Sha of Disappointment for them to please put that in there. Okay, let's see. Actually, I want to see this thing through.
Okay.
Just
keep them coming.
Sha of Disappointment. I hope somebody clipped that from the stream because that is classic. What did Thrall name? Who did Thrall name Orgrimmar after?
Orgrim.
Well, at least see, you knew one. You got this.
Yeah.
Who are the 4 keepers of Ulduar?
Jeez, what the heck? They're probably all dwarves. What, like sleepy, grumpy.
That's dwarfist.
Yeah, sleepy, grumpy, perturbed,
sneezy.
Sneezy.
I still am laughing about the Sha of Disappointment. Okay, name 4 August Celestials from Miss Pandaria.
August Celestials?
Yeah, you don't have any idea, do you?
That's like August, September, November. What's another August month?
Um,
And Cherry.
who leads the Pantheon of the Titans?
What's his name?
Starts with an A and rhymes with Shmesh and Shlul.
No, it's Khaz'goroth.
I rebuke your knowledge in the name of Thrall. Name the Riverpaul Knoll chieftain in Elwyn Forest. You have to know this
Oh,
one.
Hogger?
Yes, see,
Yeah.
you do
Nice,
know
nice.
one.
Yeah, I get the good ones.
Who is the Eridar, excuse me, boss in Trial of the Crusader?
Jaraxxus?
Yes.
Rem was gonna be
Nice.
mad if you didn't get that.
Nice!
Name
one
four. Name
Why do I know
four.
all the ones that aren't expansions I actually played? What the-
Right. Name 4 Orcish clans from Warlords of Draenor.
Oh, man. Frostwolf, Blackhand. What else? Fire Sword. And
Super Saiyan.
yeah, Super Saiyan. Burning Blade, isn't that one? Is that an actual one?
Burning
That
Blade,
is-
yeah, Fire Sword is close
Okay,
enough.
Fire Sword is Burning Blade.
I like your
Frostwolf,
interpretation.
Blackhand.
Well,
Oh, it's Blade Fist is the Blackhand one. Blade Fist.
Shattered Hand.
Oh yeah, Shattered Hand. Okay, nice.
Yeah, you did
Okay,
pretty good.
yeah.
I actually didn't
Got
know any of those whatsoever.
Got 'em. I do like the orcs. I was just trying to think of like all the orcs that actually have the name of it.
What are the secondary professions?
Pluck Eye, yeah. Secondary professions? Like, is that like fishing and first aid and cooking?
There's one more.
And digging.
Oh yeah, the archaeology. That's
yeah,
a
I
new
don't.
one.
That's not really my fancy. I don't
It's a
fancy.
new thing. I can't do archaeology. I always get ganked.
Okay, and the final question:
Doesn't
what
count.
3 operas can be fought in Karazhan?
Oh my gosh! Is it like there's the Romeo and Juliet one? There's the Three Little Pig. Well, not the Three Little Pigs one, but it's the Big Bad Wolf one. This is the. I'm trying to think.
We're off to see.
Oh well, I mean, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know that one. I can't take even if I did say Wizard of Oz one, I did not know it, so I can't take it.
I'm
There's a
really impressed
and
that you
there's-
knew those two because you don't PVE.
No.
I'm
I
quite
actually
impressed.
just this week did Upper Kara for the first time ever.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. So there are 5. We're gonna hit you with some results here, so you can just
Okay.
know there are 5
Like-
dragon flights:
Okay,
red, blue, green, bronze, black.
I should have known that
You
one.
should have known that. Now I threw you off because I said Demon Soul, but
Mm-hmm.
it was Deathwing who created the Demon Soul. Although I liked your answer. Your answer
I
was
love Deathwing.
Yeah, your
oh,
answer
I
was
am
a solid.
Deathwing. You didn't know that?
Oh, I must not have gotten the memo that you.
It happens. It really does. Okay.
I didn't even know this whole
I
time.
should have put it in the notes when we were going over. Okay,
You're right.
my-
You're right. You should have let me know so I could have
That's on me. That's on me.
I could have told people to tweet at you.
Mhm. Yeah. Happens.
Illidan was originally imprisoned because he created the second Well of Eternity after the Sundering. I
He
didn't.
did what?
I didn't know that either.
So
course
he
he
took
should
a
be.
vial of from the Well of
He said
Eternity
he did what?
and he put it and made the Hyjal, the lake in Hyjal's
Illidan! That's naughty.
Yeah, he's not
he
very nice.
was being naughty.
He was being naughty. Kind of go to prison for a billion years.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I literally thought it was just because he killed people. I didn't know.
Yeah, I thought he was acting up. Malfurion was like, enough, Illidan.
Yeah, he was bad. Now,
Hmm.
Li Shen is a Mogu.
A what?
A Mogu. He's not a panda. You were being a panda racist right there because you made an assumption based off that name.
It was Mop. Okay, everything's a panda. That was just a
I'm
good
on
guess.
to you. You
It was a
made
good guess.
you stereotyped,
Are
right?
Mogus the like the clay dog things?
Yeah, they're like they
Yeah.
have like a bulldog looking face with the
Okay.
bodies. Yeah.
They're
Pardon
like
me, Li Shen.
yeah, they're like
Me.
Taurens, but small, like squishier in the face. They're
Mm,
ginormous.
Okay. I just guessed panda. It's close enough.
Yeah, it wasn't at all. I was laughing just because I felt like you totally were stereotyping. Quit trying to assume people's
It's Ms. Mop, all right?
everything was panda, right?
Half things were panda, half things were
The
other
staff
studs.
for Medivh was how do you say it? Rem, is it Atiesh?
Yeah, that's what I
Staff of the Guardian.
When I did upper carry, I said Atiesh is broken. I just
I don't know if there's was there tentacles? I feel like that was kind of weird.
Not tentacles.
You were
there
like,
was
you were like, does it have
there was a
tentacles?
weird little tentacle staff and Kara. I remember that.
Does it have an eyeball? No, that's my
I
whispering.
don't think so. It has
it's
like a squid.
Yeah, it has the 3 tentacles up top.
Rem, what's my favorite weapon of all time?
The whispering eye.
My whispering eye. The wand, the gaze of arrogance, the staff that you got from.
Oh.
I called it my
the
whispering
Sha of
eye.
Arrogance. That's a cool one.
Yeah. Well, the Sha of Disappointment is the best of all the Shas. So there's a lot of Shas, but the Sha of Disappointment was not one of them. But I really appreciate. I think you were going for either doubt or despair there.
Yeah.
I feel like is what you meant to say.
Oh yeah, okay.
Similar to disappointment.
No, I was definitely going for disappointment, but I think doubt and despair also makes sense. It's kind of where I was. It's kind of the situation that I was in about halfway through this. Just doubt, despair, and disappointment.
The 4 keepers of Ulduar: Mimron, Freya, Hodir, and Thorim.
Okay, they sound familiar. I think half of those guys are like my order hall dudes.
I don't know who any. I know who Mimron is because we tried to get the mount, right? Mimron's head.
Right, and then I think I have Hodir and Thorim are hanging out with me now.
They are in the Warrior Order Hall. They are.
Yeah. Warrior Order Hall is the best Order Hall, by the way.
It's pretty. I'll give you that. It's pretty.
There's a dueling arena, free for all dueling arena. It's lit.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, it's hype.
I did a whole video on the Order Hall. How did I not know that?
I don't know. It's hype in there though.
Huh.
We scrap.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Interesting. August Celestials. Hulan, Shiji.
Okay.
Zuin,
thank you. And Nizo, whatever. I struggle with WoW words.
Those are the guys who didn't give me enough gear when we killed them in the thingo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Right. That's why I went to the Isle actually, is for the gear.
Amanthul is the lead.
Oh, Amanthul, is he the one that does where you have to pop bloodlust on him and kill him really fast and the
Yeah, he's the 4 corners.
Yeah, okay, cool. That was one of those guys.
Yeah,
I knew his face. I did. He has a big beard. Looks just like me. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You guys are kind of. He looks more like Gandalf or you know.
He's got a beard, literal spitting image.
Yeah, you guys are twins. I can see the resemblance actually. He kind of stole your.
He wears a robe. That's only different.
Dude, I have a robe and I was wearing it on stream. I was so cuddly.
I saw that and was like, "Is this real?" Because
I was like, "This is not professional attire, but it is snuggly."
You looked comfortable, which is sometimes.
I was doing 3s in my robe, living the dream.
That was an excellent
10 out of
gauntlet. 10. That was a 10 out of 10. I feel like.
Thank you.
You did amazing. You blew that out of the water. You smashed records. Like
I said before, you just really gotta just apply your effort.
Yeah, you're a true testament to
activate.
To paying attention to things in World of Warcraft. I seriously am going to tweet to Blizzard in the morning about that Sha of Disappointment because that really. I know you have an NPC, but I feel like you need a second NPC.
I'll take Captain Jackson Bajheera. I don't really need to be represented by the Sha
of Disappointment.
I'll let that be its own entity. Like that can stay away from me.
So that pretty much wraps up all we had for today's show. Tell people what you have going on, where they can find you, where should they stalk you, or maybe stalk's a strong word.
Oh my goodness, we stream every day, a combination of games and gains at twitch.tv/Bajheera. You guys are more than welcome to hang out. Come say what's up. And we also have YouTube, which is youtube.com/BajheeraWow. That's where I post all my videos. That's also a combination of games and gains. Got to get more gain stuff on there. Got to get more IRL stuff on there. Right now, it's a lot of video games, but that's not a problem. You guys can also check me out on Twitter and Instagram at BajheeraWow as well, if you so desire. You're always welcome to chill in the stream. Definitely looking forward to having you guys check out the videos if you want to, and always say hi on Twitter and Insta if you feel like it.
Oh, yeah. Insta's like a fun thing.
I need to do more on Instagram. Yeah. It's one of my goals. I was doing real good until BlizzCon, and then after BlizzCon, I was like, ugh.
I super love Snapchat.
Don't do anything interesting. I haven't gotten into Snapchat yet.
Let me tell you why I love it. Well, because I feel like I annoy people if I post, especially during certain times, like when it's PvP tournament time. You probably want to mute me on Twitter because it's every single thing that's going on is going up on my Twitter.
I see.
But with Snapchat, people have to make an active decision to go to your story. So if they want to see all the weird, sometimes I'm in the potty, sometimes there's weird stuff going on in my house with my animals. Like, the sky's the limit. I just feel like with the Snapchat, it's super fun, and people can either choose to look or not look. But
and it gives like an IRL aspect to it, so it's cool.
Okay.
It's good things. Insta's a big deal now, though. Like, they're hitting them really good vibes.
Yeah, I heard it's
gotta get more on there.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, guys, that was about it. That was a little bit longer than I intended, and I do apologize because I
talk a lot.
I tried to respect your time, so I was like trying to be good, and
I'm gonna eat and chill and go to bed. So
yeah, I'm gonna do
that's the next thing on the list. This I had you guys blocked off for however long we want to talk. Not a problem.
That makes me feel really super good. Thank you for joining us this week. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed having him here. We are going to have, Perculia's going to be on next week. We're going to pick her brain and see if I can make her feel super uncomfortable, because that's what I do. We're going to be talking about a lot of battle for Azeroth stuff. Yeah, Rem's going to want to kill me next week. But, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Bajheera, it was a pleasure, sir. I really appreciate you hanging out.
Thanks for letting me.
I mean, I don't have to thank you, Rem, because you have to show up. You're my best friend. That's
pretty much.
It's like the code. But guys, we're going to go ahead and get the hell on out of here because I need food or I get grumpy. Guys, we're going to get on out of here. Bye. That was weird. I figured you were going to do the whole Wayne's World ending. Maybe? No?
That was great.
That was awesome.
I talk a lot. Thanks for letting me.
No, thanks for... I felt really bad. I felt really bad because I felt like I was keeping you.
No. This was the last thing I was going to do for today, so we're good.
I could talk about World of Warcraft and all that stuff pretty much every day.
Yep.
All day.
Same.
Yeah, I don't ever get tired.